What is going on, everyone? It is your boy Alex G alongside Mal, and this is the A Couple of Things podcast where we are here to talk about a couple of things. I think that Drake has a gambling problem.
Really? That's random.
Have you seen?
I just know it seems like he's always doing something. Yeah, like with the thing he did. What's his name? What's that guy?
That's specific.
No, but like, what was that? Who was that again? When he was like gambling with that guy, that rapper.
Huh?
That rapper. Like, he said he owed him money. Or whatever.
YK Osiris?
Yeah. And I know he always like does like he's always posting like those screenshots, right, of him
gambling,
making those wins. Is it like an app?
Yeah, like the casino. I don't know what he uses specifically, but the way the casinos have got it off now is because online gambling is starting to become acceptable everywhere. Literally, you can go.
I see like advertisements all the time.
You could literally go download the casino app for that specific casino that exists out in Vegas, but you could like play it on your phone.
That's sick.
Like I just saw Borgata has one. Obviously, Borgata is a famous casino in Atlantic City and in Vegas, but now you could play it on your phone.
Is Borgata the Atlantic City location, only location?
No, in Vegas.
Is that like? Oh wait, duh.
Vegas and Atlantic City.
Is Atlantic City the flagship?
No, Vegas.
So most Vegas spots are the flagship.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I'm pretty sure Tropicana was in Vegas too, if it's still not.
Something was first in Atlantic City though. Dang, I need my purse.
Possibly. But yeah, I'm just joking around, but like he been playing like mad gambling games. I'm like, yo, when stuff like that happens, I feel like celebrities are unfulfilled. I mean, not unfulfilled. I feel like they're fulfilled and they've got nothing else.
They have nothing else to do with their money, but play with their money and see how much more they can make. That's weird.
It's pretty fire. Mm-mm. What do you mean no? I don't see anything wrong with it.
And what's funny too, I keep seeing everybody post screenshots of them doing that. Everybody wants to be Drake so bad. They're like, it's just so corny.
But yeah, I also just saw he bought a $85 million mansion.
Where?
Malibu, I think.
Mansion in Malibu, Babylon, but I never mentioned everything in Babylon.
It looked nice. You know what I like about it? It's like very it's like very Spanish, but it's like like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's covered,
like everything modern.
It's covered in like vines and like it looks like an estate, but it's like in the hills, which is interesting.
Like that house that they use in all the movies.
Yeah,
tropical.
Yeah, kind of like that. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, I'm just messing around. But I was just seeing if you thought that if he has a gambling problem.
I think
I'm just playing around. I don't think he does, but
I mean, I wouldn't say he has a gambling problem, but I just feel like it could turn into a gambling problem. Right?
It could. I remember the funny thing about that though, what reminded me of that is I don't know if you ever watched or remember the video for Forever with Drake, Kanye, Wayne, and Eminem. Mm-hmm. But literally in the beginning scene, LeBron is sitting in the back of a car. I forget what kind of car it was, but he was gambling on his laptop. It just literally reminded me of that for some reason. Because I've literally never like paid attention to anybody gambling on their laptop until Drake just started doing it. But this is what the outside looks like.
Oh, so yeah.
It's like, it looks like an estate. You wouldn't even really be able to tell where that's at, which is interesting.
I mean, you would be able to tell that somewhere in Cali or Texas.
I wonder why he's coming, or like why he got another house in Cali. Because it seems interesting.
Because doesn't he already have one in Calabasas?
I don't know if he sold that one. I'm pretty sure he sold it, and then when he built his mega mansion out in Canada, that was it. Like he didn't have anything in the U.S. Maybe because COVID restrictions are over and he could bounce back and forth freely.
I mean, it makes sense to have a place in the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah.
Like if you were a dual citizen, I would have a place in. I mean, is he a dual citizen?
Mm-hmm.
So he's an American citizen also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy though if you think about it. A lot of people come from Canada.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize like there's like this TikToker, I forgot his name, but he's from Canada. He's like one of the biggest TikTokers. Like he literally was on that Forbes list of top paid TikTokers, and he's from Canada. I'm like, I would have never known. He sounds like he's from Cali.
It's a lot of people.
I don't like that. Stay in your country. I don't like when people flee. Stop fleeing your countries and coming here.
What?
Yeah.
The dual citizenship Drake still lives in Canada.
I know, but they still come here for the opportunities. How come nobody could have? How come nobody could build the opportunities in their own country? Like, why not be the most popping person in Canada and make a Hollywood for Canada? Like, why? Like, everybody feels like they have to be in LA. They have to be in America. How come you can't build that life for you in your country?
Probably because nobody wants to be in cold Canada all the time.
Yeah, because they're mid. Just kidding.
What?
I'm joking. No, but you know how I feel about like that.
Yeah, but they could have been just as big if they never came here.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying about the warm weather and the people are here, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why not make your place that spot?
Because you could still do that though. Because literally, exactly like I said, like, bless you.
Thanks.
Right? Because like it's almost like one of those things you can't like shit on them and then like also consume their music simultaneously. Like, there's mad producers and
that stay up there. That's the thing. I'm not like coming at anybody's personal country. I'm coming at the fact that everybody always wants to come here for the opportunities. I don't get why not create those opportunities for yourself, because they'll come here for the opportunities, but then they'll also clown on us if they got to the point. Like, I'm sure Drake in privacy has had little like squalls with people making fun of America, like, oh, Canada's better. Like, I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure he was like,
why are you putting that on him?
Cause I just know how people are. People are prideful from about where they're from, though. People are prideful from where they're
Yeah,
from.
you should be.
Yeah, you should be, but then stay there. Like, why come to another country that other people built to kind of eat off their, like, eat off?
But they're kind of not.
Hollywood became Hollywood because of the American people and all the stuff that they put in there. Like, why not build a Hollywood? Like, why is there no, like, how come, like, people all over the world are obsessed with the U.S.? Like, why? Like, create that poppiness in your area. Like, create a Hollywood and you know, we got Paris, we got, like, places in Greece. Like, there's places that people are like, oh, you know, like, I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Milan, or I want to go to, what's the place that people really want to go to? Like Santorini. What's that place in Switzerland? I mean, what's that place that we wanted to go to? In isn't it Austria? No.
Just get to your point.
Where's the place we want to
Just
go
get
to?
to your point.
No, but that's gonna bother me now.
No, it's okay.
Where all the fashion stuff is.
Yeah, just get to your point.
No, where is it? You forgot too. That's why.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
The place that we said we wanted to go to, that's like in Europe, that's like known for fashion. Like, that guy was just there. It's like in Belgium or something.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Belgium.
No, what's the name of the city?
Austria.
No, the city.
Well, Belgium. Well,
what's the name of the city? It's like a popular spot, and we always like, oh, we gotta go there. And we was watching his vlog when he was there. He went to the store. He went to a store like we thought it was MoMA.
Not sure.
It's the spot. We always say, oh, we need to go there. Okay, that's not bothering me. I'm gonna finish my point while I'm looking. But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, why not have like the way that everybody like romanticizes New York, and we got Hollywood. Oh, you guys got LA. You guys have Hollywood. Like, the land of the, you know, the American dream. We all got to come there and live the American dream. Why not? Like, why can't your country be the dream? Why can't we have the Italian dream or the Egyptian dream? Why does everybody want to come here?
I don't think everybody wants to come here. I also think that, I mean, I just brought this up to just joke around. I didn't think this was going to be a serious thing, but like, it was just a joke. But if you're a dual citizen, then you have the ability to move back and forth freely.
It's not a serious conversation. I'm just, you know, it's just a question, because it's just like.
But I disagree with that, because there would be no differentiation if Justin Bieber dropped songs in Canada and never left Canada versus him having a house.
That's my point. But like, why leave then?
Because maybe you just wanted to move around.
I know, but that's my point. I feel like I don't have the desire to move to another country, because I feel like everything that I need is here.
But that would be like the same difference. Toronto is not far away.
It's not. Toronto's basically New
York. Justin Bieber lives down the street from us. Like, going from here to Canada is like no different. It's like a shorter drive than going from here down to like, it's really not that far.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So that's what. Yeah, my gripe is not really with Canada. It's more so like, could we share continental land? You know how you just know how I feel about that topic. But this is really gonna bother me. That I can't. I think it's in Austria. You know the city I'm talking about. Cause we said we wanted to go there.
I really don't. It's just Belgium. There's no like specific spot.
No, there is a specific spot, and you know it. You just can't remember it. That's why you just.
No, there's no specific spot.
Yes, Alex. There's a specific city that guy was just at on his little vlogs, and it's like the city to go to for like the fashion heads.
It's just Belgium.
No. It's Alex. You know what's that guy's YouTube?
This is literally just Belgium.
No, you know what's that guy's YouTube? What's his name? What are people in wearing? I'm gonna find it. We can move on to the next step. Unknown vlogs. Okay. He was just there. I'm gonna find it.
But yeah, good for Drake. The only other thing that I was gonna bring up is his reaction to the Forbes list that just came out on people that made the most money.
Antwerp. Yes, you knew what I was talking about. Antwerp, whatever.
He had interesting.
Where's Antwerp at?
In Belgium.
Belgium, yeah, but I wasn't talking about the country. I was talking about the city, Antwerp.
His reaction to his ranking on the Forbes list of most people with the most money.
Oh yeah, didn't he laugh?
Yeah.
Why do you think he laughed? Was that a laugh like, oh, I got more than that, or was that a laugh like, I got less than that, or was that a laugh of why you guys are creepy and know exactly what I have?
The laugh, I think, is
he got more.
Is that he has so much money that the rankings don't matter anymore. Because for the whole like whatever Forbes 30 under 30, like that whole crowd where it matters, it's like I made it on Forbes. It's like once you've accomplished so much, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's like
now it's kind of like all right, they just keep clocking me every year. It's kind of weird.
And they don't know that. Like I don't think people understand that Forbes does not have majestically have access to log into Drake's TD bank account to go see or Bank of Canada wherever he banks at.
Don't celebrities be having like just. What's the one? The Chase. I feel like that's all they use is Chase. Like anytime any rich people show their stuff.
Well, he said Chase. He uses TD Bank.
Oh, really? I thought TD Bank was like a regular person bank.
No, Toronto. TD Bank is the biggest bank in Canada.
It makes sense then.
Just like Bank of America is the biggest bank in America.
Yeah, I just feel like most celebrities use Chase, from what I've seen. Like
they just see a commercial. That's why
No, but I think they had to have more benefits for people who have that much money.
Bank of America has more
than Chase. I never seen a celebrity for Bank of America involved.
Because it depends. Because Bank of America has Merrill Lynch, and Merrill Lynch is like the big asset management. You have somebody that manages your money type thing. But the whole thing, Bank of America, it doesn't matter. Like that's the thing.
I mean, yeah, it's just a bank.
It's just a bank. It's like you wouldn't put it in a smaller bank because they wouldn't be able to cover your money.
Yeah.
So you put it in a big bank, but there's people that have more money than him. So that would bank with Chase, that bank with TD. All that stuff really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I just think it was.
I just think that's so crazy. They can have that much money sitting in their bank account. For some reason, it just doesn't seem like fathomable to me. Like logging into like my Capital One and seeing millions.
It's great.
I would throw up.
But also, a part of that too, like the reports are how much they made, not necessarily after taxes.
That's why I think that was him laughing.
Not the
like,
cash.
Oh, I made way more than that. I think it was one of those laughs, and it's crazy because they'll rank you off that.
And they're just educated guesses, and we as a society we just gas it up, and it's like, oh, you saw how much Drake made, you saw how much Kanye.
I think some celebrities got stuff too. Could you think Kanye is an actual legitimate like liquid cash billionaire?
No,
that's just
most people. There are people that are for sure, but like
a lot of these billionaires don't have $1 billion. Like they don't log into their account as like $1 billion or $1 billion. Most of it, but I'm saying a lot of it is just based off what they're worth or what their stocks are worth.
The entertainment billionaires, yeah.
And I thought like Bezos, no, not Bezos,
Elon,
and then Buffett. I thought Buffett, most of his actual net worth is in his stocks that haven't been realized.
So Elon, I don't know what, because this is like super pocket watchy. Like I hate that shit. But,
I know, and we feel like.
But with Elon, it was like a pretty educated guess. He had like 200 million cash, but then he just sold all those options that were worth like $1 billion. So who knows? And that's like when you sell them, that's cash. Yeah. So like who knows? Like. Who knows? But Elon
none of
for
us
sure.
Really know. Like you see Drake, that money that Drake's posting that he's making from casino. Did they count that? Like, do they take screenshots and clock that?
They guess it based off of all available information. So anything that's posted, they would guess it off of that. And like,
but they really don't know.
They really don't know.
And one person who knows is Drake. And sometimes celebrities probably don't even know how much they have because they have accountants and they have financial like advisors who they give their money to, and it's just
which even that is funny to me because like. I know when you're working like them, you have to have somebody to manage it because you would never be able to track down all the stuff and update it in your Excel.
And a lot of them aren't that intelligent when it comes to their own financials. They don't know anything about that. They can write raps, but they don't know nothing about how to manage money. You know, so they almost feel like they have to because it's like, what, you know, either gonna be one of those washed up rappers 10 years from now who go broke, or you're just gonna get a financial advisor and let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Obviously, he made more than that. He makes more money off of music than anybody in the world. Off of just
that's the crazy part because
sales.
he ends up on those lists and it's just because of music because he doesn't have a Yeezy business. So it's always funny when I look at those lists. I'm like, wow, he's really like right behind. Like, you know, it's not like he's right behind Kanye because he's in like the tens of millions, and then obviously Kanye's in like the hundreds of millions and billions. But it's like Jay-Z, Kanye, they're always at the top. And Drake's up there, and it's so crazy. That is like commendable to be up on that list just for music. He didn't have to do anything else.
If he stopped making music, the whole industry would fall apart.
Literally.
He's the one keeping the lights on.
It's just funny because his other stuff doesn't really get as successful. That just shows you not everybody can do it. Everybody always want to say Kanye is only successful. Some people like to say Kanye is only successful because of his music. It's like, nah, like Yeezy's successful because people actually like it. It was different. It's stylish.
I think it also depends on what you go into music for, because some people go into music to make money and some people go into music because they like to make music.
Yeah. No, but that's my point.
And
like,
then some people, it's a business thing.
No, but that's my point though. Like Drake went into music because he lost music, and he's still making music because he lost music. I know what your point was. He could quit, but when he released his shoes, they didn't really do that well. Like people still brought them, but I don't think. I think if Drake tried to create his own like brand like Yeezy, like Kanye, I don't think it would do well. I think at first people would buy it just to say they have it, but I don't think it would do well because he's not a designer.
Are we sure? I mean, his Jordans are like really expensive.
Yeah,
resale.
But I don't like. I look around. I don't see nobody wearing them. You look around, you see like how many Yeezys did you count in New York? I counted like 10.
Well, Drake never wanted to make a sneaker company.
That's what I'm saying. Though, but I said if he did make one, I don't think it would be successful. If he wanted to, if you could just say, oh, let me make one.
Why do
like I'm saying that I don't think that Kanye's success with Yeezy is linked to his success in music. Do you?
I think that it's I'll have to look at what that's saying. That's probably talking about something else. But do I think his success? I think in a way it is, because the reason why I think it's a trickle down effect. I don't think his direct success right now is because of the shoes, but we bought Kanye shoes because we like Kanye's music.
Yeah, we like
and then
him.
It became hyped, and then everybody else started buying it because it was hyped. So
Yeah.
for a trickle down effect, if Kanye dropped those shoes and didn't do music, nobody would buy them. If that's the.
But that's like what I'm saying though. There's so many other people who are hype and have cult followings. Nicki has a cult like following. Her stuff flopped. Beyonce has a cult like following. Her House of Darion jeans flopped.
I think that's because we don't know. We don't know like a lot of these people for like the things that they're trying to get into. Like we don't know Nicki for like
fashion.
But
we do though. People look at her for like her looks. Like, you know, she had the bang hair. I mean, they look at for her hair. Maybe if she would have came out with wigs, it could have been successful.
But you can't readily identify anybody like Nicki Minaj. Like, and this is no disrespect to Nicki at all. Please do not kill me, Jesus Christ. She doesn't have like an identifiable style, I guess.
I think that's like the colorful hair.
Yeah,
like
that's a hair thing.
Barbie thing, the bangs.
But I mean, in terms of like, we're talking about clothes. Like, we're trying to keep it specific. Like,
yeah, I mean, clothes. She's kind of had like different eras.
I'm sure she could have sold hair.
Yeah, if she would have did wigs or extensions or like something like that.
Like, we don't know her for alcohol, right? But she tried to sell alcohol. The reason why Jay-Z's alcohol businesses were so successful was because Jay-Z and BMF, they were responsible for the whole bottle culture that we experience today, with they're bringing out sparklers and everything that didn't exist. And you don't see any videos or anything in the 80s and 90s of people pulling out bottles. That was literally created by Rockefeller Records and BMF, and they were having bottle wars in the club. So when Jay-Z goes to sell alcohol, it works because that shifted everything. That's like a culture now. We want to order bottle service. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
So that's why those
people
things
were just ordering drinks before in a bar.
Yep.
Now you get
somebody got to go run and get everybody drinks. But now you pull up champagne,
Yeah.
sparklers,
You
bring
just
up the
pour it
signs and
yourself.
everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's able to sell. He's able to sell those things. I think
So you think? So you're basically trying to say because Kanye was always kind of known for his fashion,
that it worked because, like,
like
just
he
like
was like the
Pharrell,
fashion rapper.
Pharrell always dressed well.
Yeah, and that's why his
So
stuff does well.
yeah, so we know that his stuff is gonna do well.
But that's what I'm saying. That's another element to it, though. Like clearly, Pharrell and Kanye being known for fashion always means that they're fashionable people. So
Right.
the shoes are still fashionable,
Right.
undeniably. So that's also an element to it.
Right. I think the difference with Drake's stuff is that, like, it's the equivalent of like merch, for example.
Yeah,
Like
it feels like merch.
yeah,
The
which
shoes.
it is. Like, it's like you buy the OVO
Yeah,
hoodies
the
and stuff like that. Not like
owls.
there's anything wrong with that because everybody's done that. Like
Yeah,
Justin Bieber's merch and all these other people. So like, it's not that it wouldn't be our taste, but it would still be successful. I still see people wearing OVO
Yeah.
hoodies and stuff like that.
yeah.
Sneakers, I don't know about his. I don't know if he's designing shoes.
So
I
maybe
don't
I
think
answer
so.
my own question then, because I feel like you know, to be successful in the designer, you had to actually have a passion for that, and Drake was never passionate for it. It's not like Kanye's just somebody who wanted to make shoes to make money.
And it
Like
worked,
he
yeah.
he was passionate about design forever.
Yeah.
So I kind of answer my own question. And
Yeah.
that's why it doesn't work with the celebrities, because they're just trying to a money grab. They don't really have no real passion for it.
Yeah. So
And you see, like we saw the documentary part 3. Kanye was literally all over the world looking for, like, you know, where to have his factory and where, you know, where to get the materials. Like I don't think people were doing. I don't think Beyonce was doing that. She wasn't like flying around the world feeling fabrics properly. She had an assistant do that.
yeah. Speaking of Kanye, the doc is officially finished. We got
Yes.
all 3 parts on Wednesday. We're recording today on Saturday.
I'm sad. I
So
like looking forward to something every Wednesday.
how did you feel about the doc in totality?
I think it was good. I think a lot of people, like, remember I was saying to you a while ago, like, I was like, we need a Kanye documentary. Then when I found out this was coming out, I was like, okay, good. 'Cause I was like, I feel like it just sucks at the timing with all the stuff with him and his divorce, because I feel like it overshadowed the doc. I feel like a lot of people would have really watched it. I mean, it's still people were watching. It was popular, and you know, the nosy people are still gonna watch it. The people who say they hate him and are criticizing him, but have his post notification on clearly because they comment first. They're probably gonna watch it too, but it just sucks because I feel like it's overshadowing that. You know, like you look up Kanye and it's all tweets right now of like, oh, he's stalking his ex, he's abusive. Like it's sad because it's like this was a good documentary, and you know, you think about Cootie and like TK and like all the hard work, and it's like, dang, like your documentary low key is being overshadowed by his like nonsense right now, kind of like. But I think it was really good. That's why, like, you know, if you think about it, it was like an hour and 40 minutes each, an hour 35 minutes. So that's like what we got, like 4.5 hours of footage. That's crazy. So I think you know, it was inspiring. It was cool to see that he's always been himself. That's why I hate when people keep saying like the old Kanye, because he literally is like when he was doing the speech in the last episode, like at the school. I mean, that's literally the same Kanye all over the place with his thoughts. Can't continue with thought, you know, this rambling kind of, but still making sense. And being confident in himself and saying that he thinks he's the best, and that we all should feel that way about ourselves. And I feel like people need to hear that because they think that he's so arrogant and they think he's better than people. But it's like, you should think you're better. Like you're you. Like remember I told you today when we drive around New York, I'm like, I feel like I'm the main character because I am. I'm the main character in my life. I'm me. I'm living in my body. Like I am the main character. And I look, you know, I'm seeing people, you know, me making eye contact with people in the car, and they're looking at me, and I'm a side character in their life, and they feel like they're the main character. We should all feel that way about yourself. We should all feel like we're the main character. Like, I hate when people try to say, "Oh, you think you're the main character?" Like, yeah, I do, because this is my life. I have to live every day in this body. Why not feel the way, you know? Why not feel that way about yourself? You have to live in your body. You can't do nothing about it unless you die. Like you have to wake up every day as you. So why not be the best you and think you're the best and think you're the main character in this world? Like. So I think the documentary gives good insight into that's what he meant. Like he said, everybody should feel that way about himself. I think I'm the best. You should think you're the best too. And in your world, you are. And in my world, I'm the best. I don't think there's wrong with that. So I feel like it was like very inspiring. You know, it's a good story of it just keep going, and like, because honestly, all that stuff with the Rockefeller thing in the first episode, someone like me, I like to prove people wrong, so I wouldn't necessarily give up. I know a lot of people would, just simply of that.
So there was a story I heard about this, and thank you to Maul, of course, on the Rory and Maul podcast, who was in those buildings during that time.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm shocked we didn't see him. Cause remember we thought we might see him all.
Yeah, he was saying that
One of
the
them
reason
episodes.
why a lot of those people were reacting the way that they were reacting was that Kanye would come in every single day and play the same song in their office every single day. But in the middle of all that, Jay-Z was recording some of his biggest songs that we know today,
Yeah.
like during that same time. So it was like you have your boss and CEO and creator of the company, also the biggest rapper in the world at that point, making crazy songs. So the building is buzzing there, and then
Yeah.
you have somebody that's unknown.
And you're working, like you are working.
Yeah,
Like,
you saw they were on calls and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Like I don't think they necessarily were trying to ignore him, but they're working. Like those not really the people you would go to. I feel like to listen. I think he just wanted
Well,
everybody to hear it.
well, they kind of were because they worked for their job would be to listen to the song. Okay, like how are we gonna push this? How are we gonna market this? Because this was a time when there was no MP3 players. Everything was
Yeah, that's
still
why
CDs.
the CD player was in their offices for a reason.
Yeah, like there was internet, of course, but it wasn't any social media. So when you got any buzz, it had to be radio and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. You had to put up posters. You had to see how you're really gonna market these things. But yeah, it was interesting to see. But that was just another perspective I wanted to add.
I mean, I get that, but I still feel like if it was something that they wanted to hear, they would kind of be like, okay. Like I feel you could still kind of like nod your head, but I guess the perspective of he was in there every day, they might have heard it already.
Yeah, that's what Maul was saying. That he was in there playing the same song like 100 times.
Yeah. I mean, I respect
Yeah, of course.
that even more now.
Yeah.
I think that was just Cootie's first time experiencing that with him.
It-
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because he has 800 hours of footage. So he might have been there more.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would release more random footage, because I saw there was like videos of like Kanye recording, I think, spaceships or some music video, like behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't in the final cut, but it was just he just released the footage on it was like Netflix's Instagram. I wonder if that's gonna keep happening or not.
Probably.
If they just release random clips of like certain moments that didn't really make it to the doc.
Yeah.
Somebody said that they want them to release the whole 800 hours. You know, a lot of us kind of fans will watch that. I wouldn't watch it all in one sitting. But 800 hours, how many weeks of watching?
Was it 800 hours or was it
400?
or was it 80 or something? 800 hours.
Yeah, maybe
is
it
long.
wasn't 800, but I feel like he said 800.
Let's calculate because I don't even wait. 800 hours times 60. That's 48,000 minutes.
And it's 60 minutes an hour. So what's 48,000 divided by 60?
Ma'am, we're just going to go back to where we just were.
Maybe it was 800, but I could have swore he said that. It's 20 years of footage. But that's the thing, too. It wasn't exactly 20 years. But that's why in part 3, I was shocked, though, that a lot of that footage was his. Like, I didn't even realize there was, like, a picture of from the Life of Pablo, like, listening party. And you literally see Cootie. Like, he was filming all that footage that we saw. Like, I was like, wow. Like, I thought that was just YouTube footage. I knew he was there, but I didn't know that was actually his footage.
Yeah, and
Like,
also
he was that viral video. Like, that was his stuff.
it was 20. The beginning date and the end date was 20 years, but it's not 20 years of
Consistently.
continuous footage every single day.
I just was
recording.
happy that we got to see more. So I honestly thought that the third part was gonna be like you said, all YouTube stuff. I was kind of like, oh god, like this might be a mess. Like this random, just for them to have a closing. But I was actually happy to see that we got a lot of videos of like stuff that was Cootie. Like you would see that Cootie was still in his life consistently. Like they kind of drifted, but he was always there for him, and he always called him when he wanted to see him. And I don't think he even asked Cootie to record too, right? Cootie probably was like, "Oh, we're gonna keep recording. I got footage. We're gonna keep recording your life."
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
I liked it. What was your favorite part? Because I liked the first and the third. Well, I liked all of them, but I actually liked the third one more than I thought I was gonna like. Even though the third one kind of gave me anxiety. Cause that's when he was like,
I thought it was all good. Man, the only thing I wish, low key, I'm gonna put a little bit of hate here. I wish he was able to give that footage to. All right, so let me preface this because this is gonna sound like a wild statement. So obviously, Cootie was in the doc a lot because it was a story about his life as well, and it's not just about Kanye. You had to give perspective as to who he is and the moments in his life and all the stuff that was going on, so he could give additional context to Kanye's story and all that kind of stuff. Low key, I wish he was able to give that footage to someone else to make the doc, which might have made it a worse doc because it would have been told from a perspective of somebody that wasn't there.
That's so you think like the doc was in his perspective. That's why he narrated it.
Yeah, I think that, well, not just necessarily his perspective, but it was in a perspective of a family member, basically like a best friend. Like I want docs to be like kind of tell the story, but like I don't want to hear it from like someone that was kind of there.
Like you rather have had the person recording be like somebody who was just not Kanye's friend, but he just was recording.
I'd rather have been, not that like I didn't want Cootie to shoot it, but I
Yeah.
want somebody else to edit the whole thing to like put out the full story.
Of just of Kanye's story and not of a story from like from like you
from
said,
a
Cootie's,
perspective of someone that was there.
Yeah, because like he, like I did think it was interesting, but like how he tried to tie in like the story of like his daughter, like like my daughter was born, and he tried to Kanye had a kid too. I'm happy, like, and try to make that connection with the kid thing. I think that was still him just trying to like. I mean, it was still good, but maybe I thought it would be interesting to have different versions. Like we could have that version and then see if how someone else can make it, because that is a lot of footage to go through, and like we don't know what was thrown away. That might have been really good to see.
Yeah, and that's no like not saying that it wasn't good at all, because it was amazing.
Was really, and
I'm here for the music at the end of the day. So seeing those studio sessions and hearing the songs that when I was a kid I was listening to and seeing how it all came together,
they were making it,
was beautiful.
It's so crazy.
But I'm just saying in a perspective, I want like an unfiltered, unbiased. Like, you might have to hold your tongue about certain things because that's family. You don't want to out them in a certain way. And I'm not saying that another filmmaker should do that. But, if you remove that, I think that it would give more like a riveting sort of like, I don't know, like a.
So how do you feel about Cootie cutting off the camera when Kanye was clearly going through his episodes? Because you saw that's how he was doing that a lot. And some people were like, oh, that was so sad. Like, he, like that time when he was like ranting outside with all those like business owners, right? And then he just like turned the camera down. And then the same thing when he was with Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I think, that's part of the reason why I'm saying that too. Like, he should have done that because that's his family.
Yeah, and
that's
respect.
his man. Like, if he's going through something, you don't need to document it. It's like the same thing I told you before, like when I was out in LA and just looking at the homelessness and you want to document it, but like it's like, nah, those are people.
Or like how because we was watching the video yesterday.
Yeah. You don't want to necessarily do those things. So he should have done that. But at the same time, I want to know what the thought process is. Like, I want to see what he was going through. That's why I want like an unfiltered sort of doc where it's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because even though he's going through something, I understand it, because if 10 million people watch it, 9 million people might feel negatively about what they're seeing.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to just absorb and try to comprehend what I'm seeing.
What it is,
So I view it differently.
Yeah.
So that's why I would kind of want it. But the doc was great.
I liked part 3 more than I thought I would. Cause I thought it was going to be
I was nervous.
YouTube compilation.
I was nervous because I knew they weren't really rocking with each other, so I didn't know what other footage he might have had.
Yeah, and they still did a good job with like the timeline, cause they showed like the years and what they had, even though a lot of those years weren't in depth because he wasn't around.
Yeah,
but I like how he always turned the camera on though when he saw him. Like you saw like that time he was like, oh, like fate had it. I saw Kanye because who was it? It was like somebody wanted him to film. Who was it? Like
GLC?
Consequence or something?
Oh, Common?
It was a bunch of people. Yeah. And then it was like he happened to see Kanye at the show. He brought Kanye out, you know? So it was like, it was still cool that a lot of those filler pieces were there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that Kanye invited him on the Glow in the Dark tour too. I thought that at that point they already drifted, because I was already like 2007, 2008. But that was just messed up. They was like, there's no room for him. Like, that's crazy. I feel like I would have made room, right? I would have been like, you're going to make room.
No, that's just an excuse,
Yeah.
Because Glow in the Dark tour was the first tour after his mom's death, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That's the
probably
footage that we saw. No, but we saw the footage of him, remember? After his mom died. But then at that point, he said there was no room.
Yeah.
But then why invite him, though? Because he invited him after the death.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, we don't know where his headspace was like. He might have just been like, nah, never mind. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
Because maybe the recording might have reminded him of his mom. Called the footage that they had with his mom around. So maybe he just might not want a reminder of that, like a reminder of home. Remember, that's what he was saying too. Like he was like, "Go home." Like, go home to what? Because that really was all he had. Like he didn't have siblings. He grew up with just his mom. So that's really sad. I didn't think about it in that way. But that was your home. Like, when you go home, like you had your sister, your brother, your parents. Like that was just his home. Like when I think of home, I think of my parents and 2 sisters. So it's like, imagine the only person I really thought about for home is gone. Like that's depressing. And you saw his demeanor did change, and that's
Yeah.
what Cootie said. Like he did look different. Like something looked different about him after that. It's like he lost a spark. So sad. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the third part was like the most like nail biting. Although I feel like nail biting sounds dramatic, but that's just because like you know seeing like the episodes and like the spiral was like sad. Yeah, I mean it did make me kind of like I mean not that I never believed like, his mental health stuff, but it did kind of make me kind of like agree more so that he's definitely struggling with something. 'Cause it's easy to say like oh these white doctors are just misdiagnosing you know, but clearly it's something. And I don't know. I've heard so many stories about how medication sometimes people say it doesn't help them, and they hate their medication. Or do you think that's like do you think that you have to find the best medication for you, or do you think that they're just saying that because they don't want to take it and they just feel like they don't need
I
it?
can't comment on that.
I know, yeah, that's kind of a touchy subject, but I'm only asking that because it's just like it makes you wonder, like what you know, a lot of people do suffer from mental health, but like that people always try to like people always say with that like it's still a choice to want to get better. And just makes you wonder if he knows he has that choice and he's just not wanting to get better or if he's trying to get better and just can't and just can't find the right medication. It just makes you wonder.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah. So Doc was good, and I'm sure we'll get more parts and to bring Maul back up again. He said that his brother was shooting something for the doc, so that wasn't included in part 3. So I wonder what that might be for.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna be any more like I'm gonna have to go to Cootie's page now that it's over and see if there's gonna be any more that anything related that's coming out.
They had another event in SOBs that we could have went to.
When?
On Wednesday
This Wednesday coming up?
or Tuesday. No,
Oh,
it
it's
already
past
happened.
Wednesday. Oh, was it about
Episode 3.
Oh, okay.
I think they were watching it live or something like that, and they had like a party or something.
I wouldn't have wanted to watch it live with them. I like watching it here. But it would be interesting to see another event where they like talk about like talk more about the episodes and stuff.
Yeah. What else we got?
The easy video. Before we talk about the easy video, the camera's dimming.
You don't have to tell me. Like I know.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, okay. I always pay attention to it.
I mean, I don't want to go back into back to back Kanye because I know like you said for the clips is easy, but I mean it could just be another clip. But yeah, I mean we could just briefly talk about the easy video, music video. I liked it because I like claymation stuff. Like it just reminds me of like anything claymation reminds me of when I was in like middle school and we used to recreate claymation stuff. Like, did you ever do that in school?
Nah.
We actually like made claymation stuff because that was like the thing at the time. Like I feel like that's like when it got popular, right? Like when we was kids, like that's when it really became a thing. And like all those movies came out. We had Chicken Run. What else was claymation that was really popular? Something from our childhood that was like claymation. They said it took years to make.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna try to find it, but I like the claymation thing because it made it very like artsy for me. And I like how it was like scenes of like the claymation and then it was scenes of them. And obviously the biggest thing is what's funny? Everybody's saying that Kanye decapitated what's his name? Pete? But they never show him doing that. Like you watched the video. He just buried him and he didn't even bury him alive. Like his head was out and he was growing like roses on his head. I don't know whose head that was in his hand. Somebody said it was the CEO of Disney. I was like, what he got to do with it? Or Facebook or something. I don't know. It didn't even look like Pete. Oops,
My fault.
It didn't even look like Pete. That's the thing. Wait, is my headphones on backwards? It definitely is.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
It didn't even look like him because they were trying to be funny with the claymation. They made Pete look like Pete. Like his had baggy eyes and those big lips. I don't think that was Pete. So I don't know where everybody got that idea from. Like when did Kanye show him cutting his head off? Like I don't think that was supposed to be him. I think that was just like an artistic thing. Like didn't like one of the like Rick Owens or somebody do that?
I knew you were about to say that.
Yeah, where they had the heads in the hand.
But,
like that's nothing new.
But they had their own heads in their hand, which was super swaggy.
So yeah, maybe if Kanye should have did his own head, that would have been more like. But somebody said that they translated it as like Kanye's actually finding closure from the divorce. That he grew roses from Pete and like, gave them to Kim almost in like acceptance of like, all right, it's over. Growing roses from his head. Like, still being funny. And that's what he said, everybody lives happy ever after at the end. And he said, except for Pete. But, obviously he was kidding. He's like, he's just fine. I think that was an acceptance. If anything. That's how I translated it. Like, the whole grow roses from a concrete saying. That's what I felt like. It's like, oh, like roses actually are growing from you. And from the situation. And maybe we'll be better from this.
Yeah, here we go. So Kanye fans, come and kill me. Me. I'm a Kanye fan, of course, but
Stans.
yeah, I'm gonna kill him for this one though. The only reason I don't think that what he did was crazy, but like, and I know I've never been married and I never had kids with someone, and I don't know what he feels for Kim. But for me, it's almost like, is that like how much longer is this gonna go? Because
I mean, I think this might have been the last thing. I hope because the video might have been made weeks ago.
It could have been
like in the heat of all this. I mean, and there's still post production. He still could have took that editing, like the end part out at least, to make it the clear jab.
Yeah, what's his issue with him again? Just because he was clowning him on SNL and
I think it's because like
he took his wife.
No, but this is the full picture. Like, I think that picture that he took with Kid Cudi and like Tom, whatever was it? Timothy. I think that picture was like end of 2019. Or early 2020, which was obviously before the divorce and before the SNL thing. Mm-hmm. The SNL thing, I think, happened. Oh, wait, no, the SNL thing might have became before that picture. I don't think so, though. It wasn't the SNL thing. Because was the SNL thing during the heat of the Kanye wearing the hat, which was 2018, 2019? Or was that when he was running for president?
That was during the red hat thing, I'm pretty sure. Because he was wearing a red hat in the thing, in the video.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the exact dates. I don't know if the picture came first or not. Because, yeah, that's 2018.
But no matter what.
So, I mean, I don't know when that picture was taken. I feel like that picture was taken in 2019. So maybe they were cool after that.
But they weren't hanging out. That's the thing.
Yeah, they weren't. It's not like they were friends.
Like the story was that Kanye just showed up. Oh. Like, that's what Pete Davidson said. And Pete is friends with Kid Cudi.
Oh, they were already friends.
It was Kid Cudi's birthday. Okay. Timothy was there. And then he was like, yo, come down to the thing. Yeah. And then Kanye randomly pulled up. Because Pete told the story. He said, oh yeah, you're my Kid Cudi's my man. I'm gonna, pay for dinner and everything. Yeah. We're just gonna have a chill night. And then then Cudi told him that Kanye's coming down. And Pete was like, he got scared because Kanye obviously has a lot of money. So he was like, Kanye was like, I want the back private room and this. We're gonna order all this food. He said Kanye ordered the whole entire menu, everything. So that's how it came up. They weren't friends, and Kanye wasn't supposed to necessarily be there. But he just pulled up with Kim.
Okay, I thought they like arranged to meet up.
Nah. And this is coming from Pete. Kanye might have a completely different story, but Pete told the story before.
But that's still an interesting perspective. Like, imagine, that's still your friend's friend. So, like, you're still probably around them. Like, that was just the only picture that we got. But they still probably were around each other in the same space. And it's kind of like...
Possibly, but
and it's kind of like... It's kind of like, dang, though. Like, I mean, on Kim's part, it's still kind of nasty, though. Like, I mean, Pete Davidson is a comedian. I get that. And like nothing he said was that crazy. Like he didn't say anything crazy. But it is kind of like messed up though to bring mental health up in the element of somebody having a different political view. At the end of the day, Kanye wasn't acting crazy around that time. He just had a different political view. He was trying to be provocative. Like he literally put that in his Watch the Throne song. That sound like, oh, it's provocative. It gets the people going. Like from that, what's that movie with the weren't they like the gay ice skaters?
They weren't gay. Oh, Jesus.
I thought they were gay.
No.
What's that movie called?
God, why am I forgetting it? Blades of Glory?
Yeah, I think it was that. I thought they were gay.
No.
They had like gay innuendos though.
No, they didn't.
Okay, maybe I gotta rewatch it. But
or maybe they did.
Clearly, he used that clip for a reason. Like he likes to be provocative, so I don't think him. Even if he wasn't being provocative and picking Trump, he still just had a different political view. So now you're going to write that off as him being crazy. So he was still wrong for that. And like, I hate the whole, like, I hate to sound like the Fox people right now, but the whole liberal left, SNL is clearly a liberal, like, entertainment thing, whatever. They're clearly liberal. They clearly have left views. They clearly are democratic, So it is kind of like, I feel like SNL should kind of stay unbiased. Like I hate how all these like entertainment shows, and I mean I guess they're private so they could do what they want. But I feel like I hate that it's such like a, and I'm not, let me say that I'm not a Trump supporter, and I'm undecided because I'm picking whoever is the best. Like I hate that we had to pick a side. That's that mental slavery stuff Kanye was talking about. But why is him being a Republican and supporting Trump? He's written off as crazy. You can't have a different political view. That was him having a mental health crisis. So Pete, what's wrong? He wasn't doing anything like what he was saying about mental health and you know and trying to make light of it. Okay, sure, but if he was doing anything else, like if you made that SNL skit during Kanye's breakdown that happened in 2016, that would have made sense. But you're doing that because of his political views. Like Kanye was acting perfectly fine that year, like he was fine. So I don't like it's Pete was still wrong.
So that's his only issue.
I just think it's like that, and then now you're friends with Kid Cudi, so it was like you know it's kind of like underlying stuff coming out. It's like dang, like you know you're close with one of my you know one of my friends, and now you're with my ex-wife, like, and you made fun of me, and I was in your face, and we like Pete, me, you, and Kim Ben are in the same room together, and now you're with her. Like it is kind of like you didn't really owe him that, but like it probably just gets under his skin because that's you know like that's your friend's friend. And you've been around him before, and he clowned you on TV. So now Kim is literally with somebody who publicly clowned you. Like that is like, come on, can you imagine me dating somebody?
Yeah, but he should be. But that
publicly clowned you.
Yeah, but that should be a thing on the woman, not the man. Like you should.
Yeah, no, it should be on Kim too.
No, it should only be.
No, but he got smoked for Kim too. I feel like.
No, but it should only be for her. That's like the same thing as like you can't get mad at the guy for your girl cheating on you.
Yeah, because she at the end of the day, Kim's the one who clearly.
Like he did what he's supposed to do.
You know what's crazy about Kim? Like I don't know the oh my god, I can't talk. Intricacies. I can never talk. I don't know like the details of their relationship or who Kim is, but I feel like honestly Kim is the type of girl that literally just dates anybody that gives her attention. And then she jumps into a relationship. Because when have we known her Kim for being single? Let's really think about it. When have you known her to be single?
In between boyfriends.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds. Like if you can't be single and just learn yourself, like I feel like she's dependent on relationships because like it was like back to back to back to back to back. Like wasn't it like Reggie Bush, Ray J, Chris Humphries, Kanye? Like it was back to back.
But that's a business thing.
Because it looks good for her to be in a relationship.
It looks good for anybody to be in a relationship. Relationships are good money makers.
Yeah, but Kim don't need that at this point. She doesn't. Like you know how much people were literally.
Yes, she does.
No, but you know how much people literally are pushing for her single era. Like, oh, she's hitting the streets this summer. If she was a real smart businesswoman, which I do think she is, she will also bank on the fact that people love the single life stuff. Like this girls push that single stuff, and she could easily push that whole. You know, I'm in my early 40s, newly single, dating around. But no, you wanted to be up with a 20,
but
30. How old was Pete?
As much as
weirdo wants to be with like a 20-year age gap.
Like Kanye and his girl, right?
Yeah, he's weird too.
The thing is,
our age.
For every girl that says that she wants Kim to have a single era, there's gonna be 100 other people that think that are gonna shame her anyway. There's already people
before us.
There's already people that think that Kim is like a thought anyway. You know, no disrespect to anybody's wife or anything like that. People think that anyway. So for every girl that thinks like Kim should have her single thing, and not that wouldn't blow up and be a popular thing, it might almost not be worth the negative press. She does need it.
Because she doesn't want the negative. She doesn't want to look like she's a hop around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also she does need it. Like after a while, there's gonna be nothing left. Like now she needs her kids, right? Now she doesn't have Kanye, right? So
because before the image was the family. Like we had like and the family image was lit. Like everybody thought it was like the best family on this planet.
Yeah, nobody cares about that anymore. And then Kanye was the thing. Like, oh, we're in Balenciaga shows and we're dressing this way and we're dressing that way, Met Gala and runways and all that other stuff. All that's gonna be gone. Pete is not gonna be able to match Kanye in that regard. That's over. Now it has to be the kids. Like, I'm a mom now.
But you know what she's gonna try to get off though, and that's why everybody really does try to call her out. They think she's trying to copy the Courtney thing. Like you know how Courtney's like she's with Travis Barker, so it's that whole edgy. They look like they're young, and she's dyeing her hair. Like and Courtney, I'm like, oh. You know how I feel about girls like this. Like Courtney is literally like is one of those girls that literally tries to like dress like who she's dating. Like it's just like whack to me because it's like be yourself. But I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a tattoo. But it's all like the black hair and like wearing like the streetwear like skating fits, like trying to dress like Travis. It's so corny. But people think that's what she's trying to go off now, Kim. Like they're off the black guy now. They want the skinny, awkward, weird looking white skater guy, who's gonna give her the little things. Like she's trying to get that. That's about to be her thing now, like her aesthetic. oh, we're eating pizza in a Staten Island corner store. Like, she's trying to give off that, like, somebody had a name for it. Because they said Balenciaga as a brand is trying to do that. It's like a specific name in the fashion world where they try to give it, like, they try to sell this.
Yeah, I forgot the word. It's
Yeah, they try.
Balenciaga's whole campaign is repackaging
It's like,
the normal life,
yeah,
and
they,
then selling it to you as luxury.
like somebody who literally is like he that was like, I guess that's what he does for a living. Like, had the whole wheel of like the different sectors that it's considered, and it literally was like a specific name, like you said, something with like the fashion luxury, but like you look
Like
poor and regular.
Yeah, like Balenciaga, their runner shoes
Yeah.
are like ugly dad shoes. So what
Yeah.
they do is just take something that's existing that people think is whack, put like $1,000 price tag on it, and then sell it back to you as luxury.
Yeah.
Or like when Virgil was selling the Pyrex flannels, he was buying the polo flannels and then putting Pyrex on the back and selling it back as
Yeah.
luxury. No disrespect to Virgil, but that's like a tactic.
Yeah, it's literally a tactic. Like, I forgot what it is.
But yeah,
The name.
so
I'm trying to see if I can find the specific name, but it doesn't really matter to find the name. I can find it off camera and we can talk about it. But yeah, it's like it's literally like a specific word. I can't think of it, but and I think that's her new aesthetic now. It's like she just trying to give off that like humble, and maybe, you know, I don't even want to act like I know her, because maybe she's had this life of money and luxury her whole life, and maybe that's really what she wants. But you can't say that. But now you're the face of Balenciaga and just got a private jet. Like, you saw that jet that she flew out of Milan in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people were like the hypocrisy. I thought you wanted the little things. Kanye flies for the most. I know he flies private sometimes, but for the most part, he be right in economy. Like, if you really want that, the little things and the humbleness of relationships, and why you just get that $85 million jet, or however much it was. I don't know if she brought it, but it was like Kim Air.
No.
So I don't know what she's going for. I don't know if she's just trying to give off that aesthetic. That's what she wants. Because if you really wanted that, then you would downsize. If you really wanted this whole humble life for real, and not just the aesthetic of it. So I can't tell. I can't tell where her move is with Pete.
Everything's business.
But the relationship is weird. He's 28 and you're 41, too. Ew. And like, how's that ever gonna work with her kids? Like, I feel like the kids are gonna be kind of weirded out. I mean, they don't know any of that stuff yet. Their oldest is 7, 8. So you probably don't know anything about age gaps and stuff.
Yeah. Well, to wrap it up, the Easy video was fire. I enjoyed it, and Kanye should stop talking about Pete.
Yeah, I hope that this is it. Like, don't give these hand palm colored people anything to talk about, because those are the main critiques of, or what's the word? They're the main critics of him right now. They're literally picking apart everything. And if you go to his Instagram and you look at like the people who are commenting, I'm like, you guys are saying, oh, Kanye's insane, he's losing it, but you literally have your post notifications on, or are refreshing his page. Cause why did you comment? Like, why is your comment 2 hours old and his post 2 hours old? Why is the comment 15 minutes old and your post is 13 minutes old? You're insane. Because you're literally clocking his Instagram and trying to pick apart everything. So, why did you stop?
No, just go.
You trying to rush me?
Mm-hmm.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, no, I'm just saying, like, it's just, I just don't want him to give anybody else anything to say, because like, those are the main critiques of him, and it's just, you know, it's really annoying to see. They're picking apart everything, and you know, the second I saw that video, I was like, yeah, they about to pick this apart. And every single news outlet that's trying to be funny, Kanye decapitates Pete, and I hear all the white people, the white girls in the comments, oh my god, I'm such in fear for Kim. Meanwhile, Kim and Kanye laughing and getting along at North's basketball game. Like, you guys don't know these people. Please stop. Like, please. That's all I want to say is just for them to stop. Like, people try to say that picture of them at the basketball game was old. People found outfits. Like, that was the day that Kim got back from Milan Fashion Week, which was last week, right? That was like last week. And Kanye had the same outfit. It was like, they both outfits were from the same day, from them coming back from places. And the girl who was at the basketball game said they was laughing and getting along. And they sat one person apart. They literally, the distance I mean you are, this was the person. But Kim is such in danger. She's such in fear for her life. She would sit right next to her ex-husband at a basketball game. But we can wrap up easy and get into the divorce because they're officially divorced.
Nah, I'm cool.
No,
What else we got?
we just leave it at that then. They're officially divorced. You think divorce Kanye is gonna be happy?
No,
I think he's depressed.
I don't.
No, you didn't see his poem?
No.
No, remember the one I was trying to tell you that the people were trying to say Dr. Seuss? I'm like, girl, please. What's your culture? Hot dogs? Like, like these uncultured people always want to try to criticize somebody else's culture and how they express themselves. No, but I thought the poem was good. It was about his divorce. He was saying how divorce feels to him. It was actually kind of sad if you read it.
I'm not looking it up if that's what you're thinking. No,
I'm
not gonna read it.
I can read it to you later, but it was kind of sad. He was saying like divorce feels like COVID. Divorce feels like being bullied in the school hall. Divorce feels like you can't stand or sit. It was sad. But yeah. I mean, are they officially divorced? I think they're just legally single. I don't think that the divorce is settled fully because they still have to do custody. That was just the being legally single. That was granted. So, and she changed all her you saw she changed all her thing, social media. So the era is over. So
Good.
yeah, I'm actually happy for them. I hope that Kim regrets it. Like years from now, when she realizes that she got divorced like 5 million times, and that she ran through. Okay, let me stop. Meanwhile, Kanye got like 60 million bodies, probably more than her. Kanye's ran through too. Kanye's being the thought. His girl's too young, 20-year age gap. Kim is being the thought. I think they're both going through midlife crises, right? What? You think they're going through midlife crises?
What else we got?
The only thing is though, not to be anti-feminist, but when you're like at that age, you start to. Okay, do I sound like do I sound sexist? Saying at that age, your body's just not. I mean, she got a fake body and stuff, but I feel like your body's just it's not really doing the same thing it's supposed to be doing. You're reaching the midlife, you start to dry up and loosen up. All right, that's enough for that.
We got anything else, or is that it for today?
I mean, we can talk about anything else. I just don't like how you were starting to drift away from me talking. I was talking to you.
What were you saying?
I'm talking about Kim and divorce.
Yeah, because we were just on that for like 40 minutes.
No, we wasn't on that for 20 minutes.
It was 30.
We talked about the documentary. There's different parts of the conversation.
No, because that was all part of the easy.
No, I said the easy video was over. We were talking about the divorce. The easy video we've been off of. I said let's talk about the divorce.
Well, it's all gonna be in the same clip. So.
No, it's not, because the divorce has nothing to do with easy. I mean, it does, but the commentary is about them officially being divorced. That could be a title. Kanye and Kim officially divorced, and how we feel.
What else we got?
And how I feel is I'm happy, and I hope Kim regrets it. Because like Kanye said, your biggest W is West. That is fire. That is hard. You have to admit that's hard. You can't say that because your last name is kind of mid.
He's just salty. I mean, like, what else? It's like
I mean, he is salty, but
that's it. Just be salty. Okay. But I don't want to keep talking about Kanye being salty.
Oh my God, I'm not. But he's in the news. They'd come up with for all the listeners. Tell Alex to come up with the topics then, because he always does this. He complains about the topics, but then can't come up with topics. Come with the topics then. Cause I used to write these topics day and night. I built this brick by brick.
Them things was all bad until I got it popping recently.
First of all, no, there wasn't.
Listen,
is this called the algorithm? Because we've been posting for months. Sometimes it could. It's both of us.
Okay. I'm just saying, when I start writing all the titles and the tags,
no,
it's the most viewed videos,
okay.
all of them.
No, because you because your magic word is reaction. Your magic word is reaction.
It works.
That's all you did was different.
Just works.
You're in my nerves.
What else we got? We got anything?
I felt something crazy just happened recently that I can't remember. Nike's not selling shoes at Foot Locker.
That's not true. Skip it. What else we got?
Drake's lawyer files restraining order against woman who is. Look, why do they always do this? They make titles like, what's this got to do with Drake? If it's Drake's lawyer, oh, has been
On
arrested.
behalf of him, I'm
Oh,
pretty sure.
okay. Boring. How do you feel about the game saying that Kanye has a more for him in 2 weeks than Dr. Dre has his whole career?
I think there's a whole bunch of people that have never listened to the game ever in their entire life, and this
Who are now listening to him?
who now are privy to him because he's on a Kanye song.
And he's on a huge Kanye song too. Like clearly, this video everybody was talking about.
The game was one of the biggest rappers in in hip hop at one point. Has made mad platinum songs. And if anybody's unfamiliar with the game, he's done this forever. Like he's never not name drop people. Like he name drops people in every single song, just like Eminem used to name drop people all the time. Like that's kind of like what he does. The Game is a great rapper. He's made great music. I still listen to old Game stuff from the documentary album, and that's just what he does. He just says stuff like that. Like I don't even think that he believes the things that he says. He just says things.
For shock value.
Because like he said that because he did a Drink Champs interview recently. I didn't get to watch it yet, but some of the clips and quotes came out. He said that he feels like he's a better rapper than Eminem. But like last year, he said that he would never go against Eminem because he destroys people. So I think he just says things, and then it's just one of those things with the internet. People just, oh, the game's crazy, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, all that is just giving more promotion to the game. And I'm sure people don't understand how that works. But now there's people that aren't familiar with him are like, who's the Game? They're gonna go back and now listen to all his music, and that's all
And his
just.
verse on Easy was like decent. So
It's all just going back into his pocket as money. So people take these things too seriously, I think.
yeah, and like you can't really say that about Dr. Dre because like Kanye's a more popular rapper, more popular person in this day and age. So it's like there was no internet, and there was no when Dr. Dre was like kind of up and coming and like at his peak. So it was like, of course, you're getting more exposure because you're with Kanye, who's literally like trending right now, So it's like it's kind of messed up to say about Dr. Dre.
No, he doesn't. I know, but I'm saying he doesn't feel that way.
No, yeah, I'm saying
I don't know
just
him, but
yeah, but I'm saying just saying it though in general was dumb.
he's always said stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean Dr. J's probably like, oh, he's just talking again.
It's just one of those things because that used to always happen. Like
his
named.
interview just came out. Ooh, I don't really care to watch it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not a fan of him. Never really was. The reason I mean, how I even found out about the game was when he was dating India Love.
Shocker.
And he was doing things to her outside on grass. Do you remember that? Those pictures that came out?
Mm-hmm.
Nasty. Wasn't their age gap pretty big too?
Mm-hmm.
Creeps.
Yeah. So I probably won't watch it, but there is a whole new audience of kids that have no idea who these people are. And I know that's crazy to some people because like the documentary came out in 2005, right? My brother is 18. He's about to be 19 this year. And he was born in 2003. So for context, he was 2 years old when the documentary came out. He's familiar with Game because he's just good at understanding music. Yeah. But you could understand how somebody born in 2003 or 4,
doesn't know who he
they
is.
wouldn't necessarily know.
That's what I'm saying, how my story is, or how I knew who he was. Like, I always knew who he was because I've heard his stuff and he's been around. But I didn't really, my first real memory of who he was as a person, his face and his name was that India Love stuff.
There's also, people need to understand, too. Like, there's a whole different audience where they might not... I think everybody has this where one day they listen to certain music and all of a sudden they're exposed to this whole other world. And sometimes what that exposure is completely different. I'm sure Kanye and Lil Pump, when Kanye made I Love It, I'm sure that even though Kanye is a global icon, superstar phenomenon, I know that put a bunch of kids into the perspective.
And that's where Kanye is smart, and because he maintains that relevancy because he does stuff like that. He works with younger artists. He works with popular artists. Like him working with Cardi is no coincidence. He wants to tap into that thing, and obviously he's shoes and stuff make it popular. But
another example is with Travis with the Fortnite thing. I had no idea that the Fortnite deal would have been as big as it was.
That kid that died at Astroworld only knew Travis because of Fortnite,
which is
sad,
crazy to me because clearly we were, I was listening to Travis when I was 16, 17, and I'm 25 now, so it's almost 10 years. And within that gap, you see how many new fans come from one thing that happened. So now it's like,
because when I first started listening to Travis, it was kind of around when you put me on, and I already knew who he was, but I really you was a bigger fan, so you obviously put me on more because I was listening to the music in your dorm. a lot of people were fans of him until Antidote.
Yeah.
Like when that song popped, I was like, "Oh, here it goes."
But even in that, and even with that, still, it's like
That was still he was on one hit wonder kind of level at that point. Like people were like, "Okay, he had one hit, now what?" And then he blew up.
but even within that, it's like still so secluded because like you take someone like Young Thug that had so many like what we would consider hits,
Yeah,
but then he gets on that song with Camila Cabello, Havana, and now that blows him up even more. Where it was a crowd that nobody would have ever listened to Young Thug, and
yeah.
that's kind of
Even
like
when we saw Travis in 2017, we were in our minds we thought he was huge. That was a small venue. I mean, it sold out quickly, but because he had a cult following. But that was a small venue. Look how quickly things changed when Astro World came out and he started dating Kylie.
yeah.
Cause Kylie put him on the huge thing. That's why everybody was trying to make the joke about Nicki having beef with Stormy. No, Nicki was right though. She was saying how like you use the Kardashians and Stormy's coming to Astro World to sell records, and then that got included in your opening week sound. Like,
As he should have.
no, but that was good that he was selling hoodies and that was contributed towards sales. That was what her issue was. Like concert tickets and
No, I know what her issue was.
yeah, and as you should. Yeah, but I think her issue was because Stormy's coming. So now that that gets people coming to buy your merch and buy tickets, and then all that stuff is getting included in sales. That was what her problem was.
I think her real problem was that she just couldn't sell more, to be honest. Because no, hear me out. If she sold more while Travis was still doing that, she would have never said anything about it.
But she always spoke out about
But
artists. I mean the sales not being like, because she grew up like she started popping off in an era when there was still physical CDs. So I think she just still has a passion about that. About like, like how, I worked hard. I really came up. And Travis did too. Like we've seen the videos of him working hard and like having those little concerts and nobody was there. So I'm not saying that he wasn't kind of on the end of that era too. But it's saying like, dang, now we're in a time where Travis could get up here and say Stormy's coming, or Kylie could get up on here and say Stormy's coming to the show. And now all the people that come buy the tickets to the concert, those concert tickets aren't getting included in sales. It's kind of messed up. Even if it benefits her, I think she still thinks it's messed up. So I don't think she, like, for me, it doesn't feel fake with her, like, because she grew up in that era of, like, and was making music in that era where still CDs, where people still had to go buy her mixtape, and she was in the streets selling mixtapes.
The only thing I might have to look is if because she's done that before.
She's on her.
The bundles, and that's why I was, like, kind of confused, too. Like, I'm even...
But is that her label that pushes her to do the bundles, or is that her decision?
Well, at the end of the day, your label can't your label. So the labels can tell you what to do, but they like kind of can't at the same time. Like
they can't force you.
Like they can't force you to like sell bundles or like sell merch. Like they can't force you to do those things unless you're in a 360. Then they can do whatever they want.
I thought she wasn't 360 at first.
Yeah, she.
No, maybe not. I could have swore I heard that she was at first, but I think she's been out of it. Maybe
I would assume so. Well, how much money she has, she probably is not.
I mean, she's up there at the highest paid.
Now, let me see, right? Because this is August 2018.
Yeah, that's when he started popping.
Travis Scott used merch to beat out Nicki Minaj on the charts. August 15, 2018, Nicki Minaj is selling $5 bundle, including Queen poster, album, and something.
But were those bundles included in sales?
And free title sale, title trial. Yeah, there always is. Because it came with the album, so it counts as album sales. I just think it didn't work because Khaled, I think, had the same issue, and it just didn't work for them because they don't. Travis is just good at selling T-shirts, so I could understand. You might think that's an unfair advantage because we know him for fashion.
Yeah, and he worked with Virgil. So didn't Virgil design his merch?
Yeah, but the bundle thing was definitely not created by Travis, and everybody's done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of an unfair advantage, though. Like, you look at the charts and it's like, oh, Travis beat Nicki, but then you look at most of the sales that he made wasn't even people buying the album. It was people buying merch and Stormy pillows.
The funny part is I think that's even more impressive.
Yeah, but then don't include that in sales of the music. Include that in something else and then have him rank high in that, you know? There should be a difference. They should split it up. Because, like, it is kind of crazy to look at that sales and be like, wow, you sold that many units and, like, 80% of that is your music stuff. That's like when I was telling you the example about, like, from an accounting perspective, that if you look at McDonald's books, you're like, oh, wow, McDonald's brought in $200 million, but then 100 million or 150 million of that is through their real estate ventures. It's like McDonald's sells burgers. Why are they making most of their money from real estate? That's how I feel about it. Because it's like, You're a musician.
Then
Why is your music sales? They say, you know, the sales of your music, and you look at the details of it, and majority of those sales is merch, hoodies, concert tickets.
this is a loose example, but then the same thing that she fought for with she's the reason why artists get paid for their streams basically.
Yeah, because she pushed for it.
We shouldn't then consider streams as being equivalent to album sales either then.
Yeah.
Because why is me listening to a 10 song equivalent to the sale of an album? I didn't buy the album.
That's why streaming low key did mess up the game, because it was so much easier to be like, I sold 40,000 CDs today.
It's Steve Jobs' fault.
Yeah. With
But
the
it kind of
iPod?
it's not his fault, but it's kind of his fault. But yeah, with iTunes,
Yeah, 'cause when he invented iTunes, yeah. But even with iTunes,
still
though,
counted.
it was still you buying the album. You still had to buy the album for it to get added to your iTunes list. But then that created a whole world of LimeWire.
but you used to not be able to buy individual songs. So when you went to go, if you liked a song, you had to buy the whole album. So it always counted as an album sale. You couldn't buy a specific
Now you
track
can
off
buy
an
a
album.
song.
You couldn't buy a specific song off an album.
And then Apple Music Spotify, all these
the
streaming
stuff just
services.
took it out of here. But which is funny because back in the day, you kind of could, but just buy one song because when it was on vinyl, vinyl is like limited, so you can't put 100 songs on a vinyl because it's a physical thing with scratches in it. Like you have to only do that. So when you got a vinyl, you might have only had X amount of songs.
But then how did that count then as music sales?
It counted as a full
album?
Well, yeah, because I think what they did was they counted them as so it used to be 2 discs. Like there would be, I have to look into that actually. That's a good point. It used to be 2 sides to a disc. Sometimes it might be 5 songs on one, 5 songs on the other, 10 on one, whatever the division was. But sometimes they only put 1 song on one side and then another song on the other. I wonder how that worked.
Yeah.
It probably counted as one.
Maybe it is counted as one. Like if the album has 16 songs, they signed as 1/16 of a sale.
Yeah, they changed the music rules so much. Did you know that back in the day, not even that long ago, so I don't even want to say back in the day, like during our lifetime in the early 2000s, they used to only pay artists for like, if you had an album that was 17 songs, they would only consider an album to be something like 10 songs, and then everything after the 10th song, you wouldn't get paid for at all. Like you couldn't get royalties on it.
So the artists usually make their songs 10 songs, albums 10 songs?
Yeah, or whatever the number was. Some people did, but some people wanted it to be artistic and they wanted to just make their music. Crazy. That's crazy, right?
I don't understand why the rules have ever been so complicated. Just let people make money for their art. Like that seems so simple, but that's why like Black people always like we have these conversations that we need to push to have our own things. I mean, this doesn't just affect Black people, so it affects all races. But I just like people just need to like put the power back in their own hands and just create their own things. That's what Kanye trying to do with the STEM player. But it's like you just need to create your own production companies. Like things just get so like greedy. And people want to make money off of you, off of other people's actually hard work.
The failure of Tidal, and by failure, Tidal's doing fine, but I mean in the sense that
it didn't do what it was supposed to.
The people that were invested in it, and I think Jay-Z said this, or somebody said this, where Tidal, the whole concept behind it was just a bunch of rich people on stage that are all multimillionaires saying, hey, we want to own our own stuff and make more money. Tidal was probably the best shot at that happening. And Tidal still
tried.
Tidal still pays people the most. And he tried, and people still didn't just want to.
It's mostly our people too.
We have enough capital to put forth. Like this is my whole thing with the STEM player. I love the STEM player idea. I think it's amazing. Drake just bought an $85 million mansion. Why can't people make their own streaming service and get paid 100%?
Like, why not? Yeah, like, is that not dumb too? Like, why would you, like, everybody's so selfish. Like, okay, whatever, I don't make all my money from music. I'm gonna go start do a collab with Adidas or Nike and make money from there. Like, no one just wants to be like get it. Like, you know how much money Kanye made off the STEM player? Like millions.
You know how much money?
More money. Like he did the breakdown too about how many streams you would need to equate to what he just made in like a day.
Yeah, he sold 2,000.
It's like 500 million streams,
which was
or something.
2 million or something like that. Yeah.
Crazy, and people don't get 500 million streams.
He think he making money off Adidas. If you are able to build a streaming platform where people could get money, like SoundCloud is in my opinion, and no disrespect to SoundCloud, because I don't want to talk negative about SoundCloud, but like SoundCloud is probably one of the most important cultural pieces in music ever.
Yeah.
But so I was gonna say something negative, but I don't even want to bring them up anymore. But if everybody pooled their money together or just had different investors, but like really like be it serious. Like no, this is no bunch of rich people. Hey guys, come by, come give us all your money. It's not like that was the wrong position that they took at Tidal. Like that marketing campaign was bad. If everybody came together, put their money together as investors, or actually legitimately reach out to people that really do this, because Spotify was built from people that really do the business, that like their whole job is business. Like their job is to build companies. Like Elon just told Kanye, I don't do deals, I build shit. Like
Yeah.
we need somebody that builds something to come in as an investor and be like, okay, well, this is what we need to do. This is the layout.
And they have so much money that they could probably easily buy someone out from another company. I mean, that's kind of grimy.
No, they should build it from scratch. Like literally build it from scratch.
And that's the thing too, like especially like black people, we know like the culture, we know what people want and what people like and what's cool, you know? Like no offense, but a lot of these nerdy ass people that work at these companies, they don't know what the people really want. They don't know what's cool.
They see numbers.
And they figure it out sometimes, but they have correspondents, like social media correspondents, and these kids that they got on the streets trying to see what people want. But a lot of times they don't know what people want. So why not have actually people who know what people want, build a system for what people want, like make it cool. Like that's why like Spotify got people with that whole rap thing. Like that's cool. Like people like that, and Apple misses the mark when it comes to that. Their rap thing is like mid. So it's like have people though who actually know what people like and what people want, and make your own streaming thing. That's why I feel like Kanye, he should have went a step forward and not just made the STEM player, but made it like a streaming site. Also, like a streaming service, because that's what I thought. I thought with STEM player, you would be able to go on STEM player's website, buy the album, and listen to it without actually having a physical STEM player. Because the STEM player is cool, and like I like how it looks and I like how it's small, but it kind of feels like I don't want another thing to listen to music on. And two, like I'm not interested in mixing stems. Like I'm not a DJ, I'm not a producer, so I'm not really into that. So it's like I don't necessarily want to buy that just to listen to music on when I have a phone, Like I would prefer if he had it where I could go on stemplayer.com, buy the album from stemplayer.com. And I feel like he needs to create a streaming service. I feel like the STEM player should have been separate from
and also
from the streaming.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's right.
We also need someone that, and sounds kind of weird, but we need somebody that also doesn't care about the sale of their own music. And what I mean by that is that Kanye is doing the STEM player implementation for his own personal benefit and not for the benefit necessarily of the industry, because you can't get anybody else's stuff on there, right?
This is for him.
It needs to be your betterment will come from the success of this company. So when you put in your money, you will eventually see a return from that. But your venture should not be just to solely benefit yourself. It should be to benefit everyone. Yeah. And when you benefit everyone, you benefit yourself even more. Because you build a company like Spotify, you could build that company to be worth $50 billion, and then your stake in it would be more than what you did if you were doing it by yourself. Mm-hmm. Like basically they need to make SoundCloud, but like better. Like to like take what SoundCloud did wrong or poorly and just make it better. SoundCloud is the only music platform where anyone can just upload their song in not even 30 seconds. When I put a song on SoundCloud, it's up there in 10 seconds. Yeah. Edited, ready to go, it's out of here. I have to go contact third-party sources, even for this podcast, to put stuff on Apple and Spotify and everything else. Why is that? Why can't we have artists?
It's kind of like how we were just talking about, we was watching the GameStop documentary the other day, and how a company like Robinhood, it was innovative because they came up with a app or a website where you could instantly buy stock. Like they say, people feel like they was playing a game.
Yeah, like, you just swipe up and you throw it out of there.
So it's like, why not create something that take over and actually change the rules? Like Robinhood changed everything, like you said, with the transaction prices and everything that used to be required when you bought stock. Why not change the game? And like we watched that Kanye Black Future Month brunch thing, and like you see how everybody is there and they have the ideas and they're like, what's next? And I feel like that's where we miss the mark all the time, especially as Black people. We always have these great ideas and have these subgroups of great ideas, but we never could come together and actually like implement it. Like it's almost the same thing with the running joke about how we never could have a successful girl trip or a trip in general. Black people, like it's like a rare thing. I don't know what it is with us and why we can never just get it together as a group. Like it's like
I,
this jealousy, crabs in a barrel thing, and nobody ever really wants to help.
I think it's that, but I also think it's like the optic. Like we care about the optics of it. Like it looks cool. Like people want to regular people, and by regular, everyone's regular. But by regular people, I mean people that aren't in the industry. People want to go to the Rock Nation brunch because they want to be just around the celebrity and the.
We care about the look.
Everybody cares about the look.
And that's still maybe something linked to maybe white supremacy and slavery and just feeling like we made it and like the whole bougie, like we lit, like nobody really, they're almost like the white approval thing. Like we feel like we up there and we made it.
And like you just said, when they were talking about the brunch, it's like somebody asked, like, what's next?
Yeah, what's
like,
next?
Where
Like,
we came here and talked. So now what are we actually going to do? Because it's throwing a bunch of ideas with no action is not going to do
and
anything.
They all kind of were like, we could do this every week. Like, you could tell they didn't have a plan. They were just like,
yeah, let's just come here and sit here and talk.
And it sounds good, but like, let's actually build the stuff. Like who we hiring? All right, who's the engineer? Anybody know any black people in STEM? Like let's actually build this. And there's plenty of black people in STEM like that all over the world. Plenty of black people in tech. And there's so many people that could actually get these things together, but nobody just ever implements anything. Like
I'm also speaking at a broader point too, not just specific to like a race. Like I'm just saying in general with
just music industry.
With building your own things, because the reason why most people build their own companies is not because they want to necessarily provide a service. Like they kind of build them for the purpose of making money, which everybody should.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, do you want I need to think of a great example because it would really drive it home. Like, do you want someone to like, would you want the creator of Burger, like the CEO of Burger King, to also then simultaneously sell you pharmaceutical drugs? Mm-mm. You wouldn't, because it's just weird. Like you wouldn't want somebody that has that's not a that doesn't like believe in physical training. Like if they've never done physical training, then become your trainer at the gym. Like you wouldn't want someone that's not vested in your purpose. Like,
how do you feel like someone fat being a doctor?
I think there's a lot of that one's. I do know what you mean by that.
Someone got mad the other day when somebody said that like being fat, that don't mean nothing. You guys are wrong. I'm like,
Yeah, there's a lot of variables.
They're not nutritionists.
There's a lot of variables with that one because like, if you're working longer hours, sometimes you can't get to a meal. So the things that you eat are fast food. There's a lot of variables.
It doesn't mean that they're not educated and knowing what to do. They just might not practice it.
Yeah, mostly just trying to say like we need somebody that's invested, that actually cares about the art that is making these companies, not people that are in the business of making money. Because Universal did not start as Universal Music. They started as
movies.
Part of the reason why they're Universal is because they do everything. But Universal Movies.
Yeah.
Like, and then they just happened to trickle into music. Like Warner Brothers was, they had Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
And then they just said, let's do music too.
Yeah, all these top music dogs literally started out in movies.
Sony wasn't.
Yeah, Sony was.
Well, Sony had the Walkman. They've always kind of been in.
Well, they were just sound.
Yeah.
Like but when they started in hardware.
Speakers, Sony.
Headphones. Mm-hmm. But then, I mean, that makes sense though. You're in the industry of sound.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just kind of one of those things. We need people that care about the art of it and want people to get paid from their art. And that's why, things like Patreon and all those kind of platforms are great, because that like Cameo just puts the money back into the creators. And if everybody did that, then labels wouldn't exist and everyone would be
even
able to
OnlyFans. Like OnlyFans doesn't take that much off. I mean, they still take money, but you kind of have to. Like unless you build your own platform and you have your own site, then you kind of have to expect people to take money.
Yeah, and they should.
That's why it was like what was the thing before OnlyFans was like Snapchat Premium. Mm-hmm. Snapchat wasn't taking a cut because Snapchat's not made for that. Like the other people actually were making their own money 100% because like, people were just sending them money through Cash App or whatever. But,
yeah, even with companies like I'm not even mad at like companies taking a
percentage.
They should
because they have to, and they need to make money. Yeah,
they need to keep it going.
And they came up with the idea.
If they don't take a piece, then the platform is gonna be gone. Yeah. So
someone gotta keep it running.
Yeah. So.
It's just about how much they take, and like these artists, like, and that's the funny thing. Artists know how badly they're getting like R-word by streaming, and then they still aren't making a change. They're just content with it. They feel like they got their a few million from their label, like so they they feel like they made it. It's like no, you didn't really make it. Like you, not at all.
Yeah, there's definitely money missing.
Like, why not make what you're worth? Like, that's just sick to me. Like, why would you not want to make what you're actually worth and what you're actually bringing in? Like, do you not feel sick looking at those checks and realizing that like you don't even get like half?
Well, they a lot of people don't know.
Which, because they, like I said, they don't know about money. They don't know
But also
about business either.
the music industry is purposefully confusing because you have to go and figure out where your money was divided by. They don't say your check is gross pay.
But can't you request that? Like let's say like I got famous for music somehow, right? And I'm pretty educated in like money, and I asked them, hey, can you guys give me like expenses, like a line item? Give me line items. Can you guys do a line by line breakdown?
You could.
But they don't. People don't ask for that because they don't understand what that means.
Yeah, and they're also gonna start.
I would be like, let me see.
Because people don't have like people that like audit those sorts of things. So like, when money's missing, it's like they're gonna most likely they're gonna come back to you, and then they're gonna start fudging stuff like money is gonna be like, oh well, we had to pay for this, we had to pay for that. But that's why you have to literally track out all your expenses, because like it gets hard where
And they just know people aren't gonna ask though. That's the main thing.
they're gonna be like, well, we paid engineer, because they'll come back, like of course they're still a company and they could get audited and sued, they're not indestructible. They're gonna come back and say, well, we paid the engineer X amount.
Yeah. It's the studio time.
For studio time,
Gas
and
for
the tour bus, and all that stuff is going to come
maintenance.
out. And trying to get it down to the cent. Of course, they track it all because they're public companies.
Makes sense because that's what the labels afford. They provide those things because most people can't afford that outright. They can't afford a team that's going to dance for them on stage. They can't afford the costumes. They can't afford hairstylists and makeup artists and a tour bus. So it's like it makes sense. That's what the whole point of the label is. And it's like you have to pay those people. I get that, but they do take a lot more, I feel like, than they need to.
In addition to that, too, like sometimes money goes missing.
Yeah.
Like you see when you were doing your thing, 77 million is went missing.
Yeah, like and that's we're a huge company.
And you have to sometimes you have to ask.
I had to ask around. I didn't have to ask personally, but my manager said like, where is this?
In that instance, is different because you're an artist, you're a contractor, you're not an employee, so like they don't.
Yeah, that didn't affect me. I was like, all right, 70 million is missing. I'm going to sleep.
You have to ask them.
I'm gonna figure it out tomorrow.
Like Big Sean was talking about, 4 million was missing. You gotta ask for that. Like, although you should just get your money, sometimes you gotta go track it down. Unfortunately,
and it is kind of messed up though that people do take advantage of that though, and then they do try to take that money off you because they don't think you're gonna look for it. That's kind of evil.
Yeah. So. That is the state of the music industry.
Why can't people just be honest? I know we're all humans and we're all in a hunting, gathering world, and no one really cares about each other. I feel like as much as they pretend to do.
It's just how we are.
I feel like people really don't care for others as they pretend. Like,
I don't think anybody.
I don't want to get political, but even with the Ukraine stuff, like, everybody's all like, "Oh, so sad." I don't think you can really care. I think you're just saying that for likes. You're saying that to sound like you're have sympathy. Like, not saying that people are evil, but I feel like a lot of people don't care as much as they truly do or pretend to care.
Yeah, of course.
They just want to sound like political activists. They want to get their stamps of approval from their peers that they post on their story and that they look like they really care. And that here's the links. Donate. Did you even donate? I doubt it. Like all the people that have donated for Black Lives Matter. Like why? Why'd you donate? What are you donating for? Okay, yeah, $1 million is gonna stop the cops from shooting us. Like people don't even know why they try to be active. They just want to look like they're doing something.
Yeah, and that's it.
But if I tweet right now, so is it too late? Like if I say, is it too late to talk about, or is it early enough to talk about how you guys all donated to Black Lives Matter? Like idiots. Unfollow. Cause I had this one person, an old friend of mine, that like made this tweet like, "Oh, if you didn't donate, you're part of the problem." Cause I didn't donate to Project Blue, a democratic movement. Did you even know where your money went? The Black Lives Matter movement has to do with Black lives mattering. And not getting killed by cops and protesting that and getting police reform. So what exactly does donating do? And why is your money going to Project Blue And what is Project Blue? Let me know, since I should have donated. Let me know. Because I did my research, clearly. I'm like, Project Blue? And all that's right on the website, too. When people click those links, no one reads that. They're like, I donated $10 today. I'm a good citizen. Yeah, your money went towards campaigns. Because that's the whole point. Like, that's why the left and, like, see, I sound like the people from Fox. That's why the Democrats can do, the left and the right.
We were talking about the music industry.
No, but sorry. But that's why, like, the Democrats, like, they took over that movement because they, like I said, the Democrats try to hijack a lot of that stuff so the money could go towards elected officials that are going to make those changes. No, they're not. They put that money right in their pocket, bought some seafood, went to Aruba. Like, what do you got to pay the campaign to get on a bus and hold up posters, talking to a microphone? But anyway, sorry, what's the word? We said I
digress.
I was about to say digest. I digress.
Get your hand off the mic.
Because it's annoying. It looks crooked.
What else we got? What was that?
I mean,
if we don't got nothing else, that's fine.
The only thing else I was looking about, but I'm not going back to Kanye, was DL Hughes. I don't know who the heck that is. Had to put his 2 cents in.
You're wilding.
I know he looks familiar. He looks ugly and dumb. But, he had to put his 2 cents in about it. So I'm not even going to talk about it because it's going to make me mad. I'm not even looking at it, the comments. But he
just said that he feels like Kanye's stalking her.
He's not stalking her. Harassment? Okay. Stalking? No. People just making them definitions now.
Also, I wish I would have added this. I forgot my Twitter, got closed it. But for the Drake conversation, he sent a streamer $86,000 on Twitch.
Oh, I saw that. And they said the streamer lost it. I'm trying to gamble it.
Terrible.
Dumb.
How you lose 86 bands?
You know what I was talking about the other day? If we got like a big lump sum of money like that, it's like, I know like what the right thing to do is to pay off your student loans. But then she had a good point. It's like, this is a crisis, and eventually it's probably going to be handled.
You keep saying that. No, that's not true. Do you know that literally if you take a company, one of the biggest companies in America, and you say you're going to lose all this revenue and they're going to die.
But they had the money. Look at all the money they keep putting towards wars every day.
No, but it's the government that's doing that. The government is not.
And the government will pay off the loans. So the government, our loans are federal. You have private loans. Most of my loans are federal loans from the government. They gave me the money. So that's why you're so anti it, because you wouldn't benefit.
No, I'm not anti what? Anti paying off my loans?
Like, no, student loan getting.
No, I'm not anti it. Obviously, if people were getting their loans paid off, that would be great. But it's just not realistic.
But how's not realistic when this is something we've never seen before? This is a crisis that never seen before.
Okay.
But listen, sorry, it might not happen. But to Alex's point, this is not just affecting Black people. Like when stuff that affects our community, it's like,
oh Jesus,
it's one eye, but it's affecting all communities.
It doesn't matter. If they're not even going to fix homelessness in the country, what makes you think that they're going to pay off people's student loans that were privileged to even go to school in the first place?
Because homelessness is a whole different ball game.
They won't even put temporary housing in LA for all the homeless people. So what makes you think that they're going to pay off privileged kids?
Because these so-called privileged kids are now swimming in debt and are not. All I see on TikTok is people defending their decision to stay in apartments forever. Nobody is going to be contributing to this housing market. That's literally, realtors are saying that there's a crisis going on right now. There's a housing crisis. Our generation are not buying houses. Millennials are not buying houses.
And that may be
and we're not contributing to the economy the way that they will hope we do. And I feel like they're going to have no choice to. And right now, it might seem like they are. There's a small like, ooh, maybe they are, because the loans are frozen. Duh. Once they unfreeze those loans.
And that may be a problem for realtors now, but all the realtors, all they're going to do is just end up buying apartment complexes and just making money still.
Yeah, but that doesn't help the economy really that much if everybody's just living in apartments.
I think it boosts the economy even more. Because no company benefits off of people owning houses.
But I still feel like people are not contributing to the economy. Like, if anything, what our generation is going to do is go on a trip. So they definitely contributing to airlines, hotels, countries that are just known for tourism.
That's not gonna happen.
I don't know. Every single politician bringing this up now. Like, this is something that's actually being brought up in politics.
Because
for the vote, I know. But I was listening on Twitter Space the other day, and someone said they feel like there needs to be like a law, like there needs to be laws in effect where politicians can't make false promises and like not act on them. Like, we had to hold these politicians to their promises, and if they don't make those promises, we could prosecute them. You think that would ever be a thing?
No, because the politicians could say whatever they want, but there's a system of checks and balances.
Of
So,
course.
so it should be
And
obvious that they can't make that
but don't
decision.
you feel like they know that system is in place and that's why they lie? Like, oh, I don't care about student loans. Like, I only said that's it for them niggas to vote for us. Like, we wasn't gonna ask anyway. We wasn't gonna try to get that bill passed anyway. Cause look how Biden got in office. All of a sudden, it was oh, we not paying. It's like what happened?
But we should have known that though. I mean,
But he lied
people
and
should.
said that we were. He didn't say nothing about oh, we tried to push the bill and the House didn't approve it. Like it was none of that. It was oh, we're gonna clear like 10,000. Oh, we're not clearing nothing no more. And now you gotta pay back now in January. And then it was like oh, we'll freeze it till May, 2 months. I don't know. It's literally a crisis, and I feel like it's gonna get to a point where literally like it's rising every year, and I think something's gonna happen. I don't think our debt is ever gonna be fully cleared, but I do think there's gonna be a time where there's like 50,000 is paid off. Well, federal people, us people with the federal loans. Like I feel like there's still gonna be some type of lump payment that's gonna go to it's gonna reduce. There's already forgiveness programs in place, like for teachers and stuff that after 10 years, and like people who do like nonprofit or something, like there's already stuff in place for them that they just forgive it. So I feel like eventually they could do it. Like it's just loans. At the end of the day, it's not real money.
Well, it is because when they're paying institutions for you to go there, so it is still a loan.
Yeah.
Like they are still losing money. I'm not saying that I'm saying that they won't because not because I don't want them to. Obviously, like it would be great, but it's just. They would have done it first of all.
Because it's not the crisis didn't boil over at this point yet. Because our parents paid off school like it was nothing.
Right.
And
they just asked for like $6 billion the other day for Ukraine. Like they can if they really cared, they would just do it.
Yeah, and they don't care. It's not a priority to them. But I think eventually it's gonna have to be a priority to them because we're gonna put it in our face. Like this is a whole new generation, Gen Z, like Maya and Brandon's generation. They are gonna suffer too, and it's only getting worse. School's getting more and more expensive every year. Rent is going up. I told you that one girl said her rent went from $2,500 to $3,950, but the salaries aren't increasing. My salary went up 3.7% or 4.7%, 4.7%, almost 5%. That's a good increase. Okay, yeah, my paycheck's going to be an extra $100. Like every paycheck, that's not enough to cover a rent increase of thousands.
I agree, but
and the student loans coming back into effect, it's something about to boil over.
I agree, but
soon.
The numbers. I'm just saying, as somebody that looks at all those numbers all day, it's not adding up. But
eventually,
consumer spending in relation to it being a crisis doesn't add up.
Because consumer spending right now is what it is because our loans have been frozen for 2 years.
Even before that, it never added up.
But it's gonna be, you know how stuff is like it's a wave effect. It's a trickle down effect. It's gonna be that aftershock. Like all that big stuff that's happening now is happening now, and their aftershocks are already out there and existing in the world. And there's gonna be a point where the aftershock finally hits fully. It's not gonna happen at the point of impact. Like all that stuff is gonna happen. All that aftershock that we feel from this crisis is gonna happen in the next 10 years, in my opinion. Because people are really going to feel it. And it doesn't help that social media pushes people to live this luxurious lifestyle that they can't really afford. People are really going to go crazy over the not having money thing. For sure. In the next like 10 years, people is going to like make people go insane. And they're going to really be fighting for this. And like we're going to be pushing for our politicians to have like, no, you got to make something happen. Got my paying back $100,000 and the interest is making me pay back $200,000. By the time I end up paying, I'm paying $250 like off of. And I get that we had a whole conversation about that's like people who are doing like high interest rate loans and paying back the minimum every month, but it's a real crisis. It's literally a crisis. It's called a crisis for a reason. And schools are way, like we could all agree, school is way too overpriced. And I think that's people's biggest issue. It's just salaries and wages aren't going up. Like, okay, yeah, inflation might happen. We get that. I mean, it will happen. Inflation will happen. It's cost of schooling, all that stuff. Yeah, it's going to go up. But let the salaries and wages reflect that. And then I don't think nobody's going to complain. If I was making more, if the ratio for what our parents are paying for school was the same as what we're paying for school to how we're getting paid, because what they were getting paid versus what they had to pay for school was a good ratio. That's why these niggas was buying houses like it was nothing. Like, they was already our age. Weren't your parents our age already when they had their house, that first house? Like, it was nothing for them back then because the pay was what it was. For us, it's like how did my parents buy a house 20 years ago for $100,000 and they were making not much less than I'm making? now. Does that make even any sense? And houses now cost $500,000. That's a $400,000 increase, and salaries haven't increased at that same. Like this is housing and food and everything, and this is salaries.
It depends. I think what people want has changed.
Yeah, everybody wants to live luxurious and fake flex and
because there's not like those things don't like there's not like low rent still doesn't exist. It's not like cheaper houses
yeah,
still doesn't exist.
And I made that argument in like our first podcast ever, and on my Twitter recently that people were saying, "Oh, apartments aren't salaries aren't three times the rent, or three times the salary." It's like, no, the apartment you want is not that. Like, you want the high rise in Manhattan.
Yeah, with marble floors and all that.
But work at Forever 21. So I get that. Like, some people are complaining, and some people are in these conversations who don't want to go to school but want to live in the high rise in New York and are complaining about that. Yeah, they need to get out the conversation. I'm talking about people like me and you who are working hard and we're making good money. We're making above average money for our age. Like, we're literally at almost 200K combined.
My cousin, for example, because I mean, there's two ends of the spectrum, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm using her as an example because she's a public worker, and so she doesn't make, a ton of money. She's a teacher.
Yeah.
And her husband's a public worker, and they were looking for houses, and they couldn't find them because they were all bought up. Like they had to bid more money,
but.
And they were still able to.
But people are...
And she paid her loans back by herself without any family help.
How much loans did she have, though? Did she go to school at
she went
dorm?
To school.
Did she go in state?
I think out of state. I think she went to Delaware or something.
And she stayed on campus?
Yeah.
But did she have grants? Did she have scholarships? That's all that stuff you had on count?
No.
How do you know?
I don't think so.
You think she's sharing all that?
I know that she paid for her loan, so I mean, I think I would know that part.
Yeah,
too.
But I'm saying like she might have had scholarships and grants. Like a lot of people like to push out, oh, I paid off my loans, but then you ask the real question.
She's a lot older than me.
My parents saved like half of that already. Like
she's also a lot older than me, but no, they didn't pay for any of that.
Yeah, but she's older, so the school cost was probably maybe 25% less than what we pay or more.
What year would she have gone? She would have went in
like 2000.
2000. When would she have paid that back?
She paid it off
early
immediately?
2000s.
She paid it off immediately?
No.
So she went to school in the 90s?
No, early 2000s, I think. I honestly don't even... My math is bad. Hold on, let me see how old she is.
Let's see what the average university cost was in the early 2000s.
Just go for...
Public university in year 2000, $3,500. For public.
Per what?
Per year. That probably doesn't include dorming and stuff, but that's still so cheap. By year. Public tuitions increased 80% from 2000 to 2014. 80%.
Yeah, I probably should have brought up that example if I had the financials, but obviously that's her business. But, I mean, we'll see.
Like, why is it skyrocketing so much? And, of course, the freaking biggest peak was when we went to school. What? How does school go from affordable to sky high? Like something is going on. And I don't understand. And if we have to go to school. Like we could agree we wouldn't be making what we were making if we didn't go to school.
I think the markets. I think what happens in society is I think that the people that make the money or the people that make the rules, I think they implement things and then see what happens, and then they go based off the reaction and dictate how the rest of it will end up being.
So they know people. Nobody fought back about the cost of school and just took out loans.
Yeah, right. We're still complaining about loans, yet we
took them out.
Yet there's 20,000 people at Rutgers, 20,000 people in Montclair still. Right now.
So they realize, okay, we can still make money.
All right, they're gonna keep complaining all they want, but they're not gonna stop signing up for school.
But the risk of them doing that, and to my point, is that they're gonna keep testing the waters until it explodes, and it's gonna be a mess, and it's gonna be mayhem, and people are gonna start acting crazy, and I'm scared.
We'll see.
Because like I said, I think there's a pressure that's coming from social media. Everybody wants a day in the life of my luxurious lifestyle and want bags and the Christian Dior bag and the I'm on a private jet to Bali. Like everybody wants that luxurious lifestyle, and people are gonna do what they can to fake it. But people are literally going crazy trying to get that lifestyle so bad that it's probably gonna be people are gonna start going crazy soon.
I'm gonna pop my shit just a little bit, but because I studied with my degree in economics,
I still studied money too,
and I'm so well versed.
I studied the rules of money, though.
I do agree that at some point there will be some sort of negative financial reaction to debt, whether it's credit card debt. The average American credit card debt right now is
There's the fake flex,
5,000
and the people gotta live.
or $6,000. In addition to that, people with student loans and things like that. Now, I do agree that there will be some impact and there will be some legislation where public universities have to be capped at something, but we're going to pay for that back in taxes. It never works like, hey, we're just not going to charge that much anymore. It's going to be, we'll get taxed it. So, that's going to happen. What I do think though is that
charge the tax. But the people who paid off their loans have a problem with it. The people who didn't go to school have a problem with it.
Yeah. Only 40, and I don't mean to say only because I don't know in relation to other countries, their percentage of college attendance. 42% of Americans go to college.
And not all that 42 finished, right? Or is that 42 that guy have a degree?
That is a good question. I think it's 42 that have gone.
So 42% of people at least have debt in some way, whether they finish or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you break that down even further, there is a large degree of those college graduates that make good money. If you look at
a lot,
if you look at the graduate or like the different programs at a public university, most of those occupations pay money. You're obviously going to get the people that and no disrespect by any means necessary. No disrespect. No, there's people that get business degrees but end up being secretaries or like executive assistants or whatever it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. And EAs, depending on where you are, you can make six figures.
The EAs at my job making money.
They make money, right?
They be right under Rob Axel every day.
Right. Not literally.
Yeah, not.
Jesus Christ.
No, but I do hear some flirting. Let me stop before they find this.
No, seriously, you can't joke like that.
I'm joking. I'm really joking. Yeah, you don't know who's watching.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I'm saying people
no, just stop. Just let it go. Scandal. So you gotta stop.
So I'm good. I'll go right to the next place. Now,
you gotta stop.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to scarlet
defamation. It gets crazy.
Oh, I'm joking. At least I didn't put her name out there.
But so it's not them. I just mean like.
No, but there are people who get business degrees who never do anything with it.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
They get like a degree in marketing or communications. Come on. I know some people who got marketing who did something with it, but a lot of people get stuff in like marketing.
Yeah, like if you do marketing and then you do because like things like there's things in marketing, you do event planning and stuff like that, you're gonna make a lot of money. If you're traveling.
You know what a popular major is that people don't make money in either, like that hotel. What's that stuff called? It's like
hospitality management.
Yeah.
Because it's so specific to cruise ships and hotels,
and that's where you end up at. And they don't really make. I mean, some of them make a lot, but that's highly probably competitive.
To work at like a luxury resort.
There's only one manager there usually. Like you're gonna be. It's almost like how people will try to be a principal out of school. And it's only one person could be principal.
Yeah.
But a million accountants exist everywhere.
Yeah. So most of the degrees that people get, people are making money. But there is the percentage, because like it would bother us, student debt does bother us. We don't make a million gazillion dollars.
But at least I know I'm good.
But we're good no matter what. But there's the other majors that don't make a lot of money, like doctors make a lot of money and they be struggling.
Doctors don't even make money until like 12 years after school.
Yeah, but they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Yeah.
Then there's people that psych degrees, or like, not to pick on anybody specifically, or any of the arts, or music,
or like sports medicine. People do that, and like you thought you was gonna be LeBron James. Like,
I'm not.
I mean, you could do sports medicine and go to med school.
Wait, no, time out. But stop doing that, because I'm not trying to pick on people.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to point out that basically what I'm trying to explain here is that we're looking at it as being a crisis in the country, right?
Yeah.
The people out in the middle of Milwaukee do not care about what people over here are dealing with.
Like the hillbillies that are farmers.
See, why are you calling people?
Okay. No, but hillbillies not derogatory.
It is derogatory.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Jesus.
Okay.
It's like
the farmer.
People,
okay, the farmer in Milwaukee.
Yeah, the blue collar people. Yeah, like they don't care,
and they don't want to pay taxes on us.
They don't care. They're not a part of the percentage. We assume they're not part of the percentage that went to college, and they're a part of the larger percentage of Americans that don't go. So they don't care what happens left or right. Basically, what I'm trying to take is the 100%, subtract all that, 42% people actually go to school, subtract down from the 42% most of those majors people are going to make their money and they'll be able to pay back their loans and they'll be fine. Because in reality, 100K in context is not like it's
It's not
not
a million.
crazy. It's not $1 million. Like you spend 4 times that maybe on a
We've
house or three.
made
Like
more than we probably made what our loans are so many times. We just had
yeah,
just
but with regular
not in
jobs.
one and not in one lump sum though.
But we tend to want to go out, get cheesecake
For
and
$8.50 a
yeah,
slice.
like that. How many minutes you had to work to make that 850? People don't put things into context. They're like
Like
this
not even
chessboard
like
that we're
10
sitting
minutes.
in. We're talking in like $300 mics. Like stuff like that does
Living in a
impact.
$2,000 apartment that we could have stayed home for a few more years.
That stuff does impact your ability to pay back your debts, and the faster you pay it back, the less interest you pay. So
Yeah.
there are different factors. So
Like I think
basically,
about how fast I was able to save $10,000.
it's quick.
Especially when I wasn't had no responsibilities. Like even me when I bought my car, I saved $6,000 in like 3 months. And that was me still only like dividing it like, okay, $500 a paycheck, whatever. I could have did more than that. I was living at home. I could have saved $1,000 a paycheck and just
Yeah.
didn't buy clothes, didn't do really, do anything.
So using me as my own example, basically what I'm trying to say, and I speak from both a privilege, but also I worked hard to be where I'm at kind of situation. I think that most of who is impacted by the student loan debt is not necessarily people that do what we do in our line of work. It's, people like public workers, like teachers or people that work in retail or all that kind of stuff. But if you went to school and you end up in retail, like, I don't know what to tell you, because anytime people say they can't get a job, it's like, maybe it's an education thing where you need to learn how to interview or you need to get your resume to look a
So
certain
my
way.
mom, not to put her business out there, I did this before. She had no degree. And she makes 6 figures. Like she calls it the gift of gab. She just knows how to talk. She knows how to sell herself. And we talked about this with our parents too. A lot of their success is because of their own research that they did on your own. There's so many books, YouTube videos out there, so many Harvard school certifications. You could get certification online. Like that, for me, there's no excuse anymore. When people complain about not being able to make money and they at least have a degree, I just get like, I don't care.
Here's one
'Cause there's
example.
so many ways to you could get certification from anywhere. You can learn how to code. People who code make money. Like they make money.
Here's a quick example, and then we can wrap up. People that have ever worked as cashiers or ever handled money, you can quickly and easily transition to that
You could do
as a
accounting for
job
that.
in a bank, because there's a line that is a least resistance or just more efficient way to work, because people, it's tough to work retail job, and then try to go jump into corporate. If you are ever have experience handling money, that's a skill. Like you're literally responsible for not handing
You know
away.
how many times I use that cashier stuff in my advantage to get accounting jobs? Since I'm saying I was like, yeah, I handled money. I closed the till. I had to do bank
What
recs.
is that voice? You're responsible for the finances of a company, literally, because you're responsible for not handing away too much change. Like
the inflow.
you're responsible for that stuff. Like as much as we don't look at it as being that crazy of a task or a skill, it is a skill. So if you can do that in McDonald's, then you can, like I did, then you can do that in a bank. And then
You use the big words to make it big it up. Be like, I'm the point of, what is it? Point of sales. I'm literally the transaction person. I'm like that. I'm that segue. I'm the liaison. What's it?
Liaison.
Like, you could big it up in those interviews.
and then you could become a bank manager, and then
Or working in accounts receivable. The people who were working with me in accounts receivable were like regular people who didn't even have degrees. And it was in the same job as me, but my accounting degree.
yeah, all you have to do is just
Making like $20 an hour, which was, kind of, that was bad, but it was good back then. I thought I arrived.
work up, become a bank manager, go into working for corporate at the bank, and transition to different financial companies and just learn skills on the way. So basically, long story short, I think that of the 100% of people in the country, only 42% go to school, and then from that 42%, there's a small percentage of people that are actually severely impacted, because we're all impacted by it, of course, but people that basically won't be able to make ends meet, struggling, can't really do anything. You have to watch every dollar you spend. I think that of the graduates from the school, there's a minor percentage there, because the whole point of degrees is for advancement in general.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're offering college education for things that will never make you money. But they do, of course, and I think some of those jobs are important. But
But
that's,
there's ways to make it. Like I know,
there is.
I know people who got degrees and things that were like Why, like, I don't know if I would do that. Who are making a lot of money? Like, me and Amira had a childhood friend who literally was just working with Serena Williams and somebody else that she was working with that's super famous. Like, she went to NYU, you know, that's a prestigious school, but she went for like to be a director. And we were like, oh my God, like I'm surprised, you know, African family, like, you know, the stereotype, like you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a lawyer. I'm like, wow, like that, you know, they're accepting of their daughter being in school for like the arts. And she's doing big things. I don't know how much money she's making, you know, that whole struggling artist thing, but she's working with big names and she's directing for like big people. Like who was it? What's that movie that we watched? About the girl who was a slave and she actually really did get like she was in like the slave reenactment.
Annabelle.
Annabelle, the main character. That's who she's worked with recently. Like she's working with celebrities. Like she's working.
Janelle Monáe.
Yeah, Janelle Monáe. Like, and she directed something for her. Like there was literally a picture of her talking to her, like directing her. So that's, you know, that's good. And then, you know, like we have like our friend from college who went to school for like fashion and like got this great job traveling. I know I had a childhood friend who went to school for public relations, working at a really well-known public relations company in Manhattan, making good money. So you could get these degrees and things that you might not think like are like, oh, you're gonna go to school to be a lawyer, accountant, finance, like to make money. Like people think of, you know, dentists, like people think of like, you know, doctor. People think of those things for money making, but there's other careers that you can make money in if you know what you're doing. You're charismatic. You know you're just a hustler. But a lot of people don't really have that, and like that's why like I still feel bad. You know, you got these degrees that are not really making you money, but it's like no coincidence that a lot of people that I was friends with or in my circle are making it far because that's the type of person who they are. It's no coincidence that we're all doing well. But you know, that's how I look at it. So it just makes me wonder. It's like, yeah, I still feel bad. You kind of, you know, but at the same time, like I do mostly feel bad because we also are in a privileged standpoint where we had family members tell us, kind of lead us on some type of path. You know, like we kind of had an idea of what we should do. You know, like I didn't really know nothing about accounting if my mom wasn't working at a Big Four. So, you know, I have to be like, okay, you know what? It's easier to say, oh, you guys went to school for something that wasn't going to make you money. It's easy to say that when I come from a family that my mom literally told me and put me on. People don't have that, you know? Their parents don't really do nothing. But I just feel like it's kind of hard to make that excuse. Like, we're 18 and 17 when we make these decisions on what we're going to major in. But there's just so many, like, all you got to do is go on Google and type in what majors make money. And they'll give you a list and you can say, okay, I don't really want to do that. But everybody just goes for the easy thing because they just want the degree and they think any degrees can make them money. But they have no other skills. They don't develop any other skills. They don't even go to school and do anything beyond like their little major. And it's just like, what do you think was going to happen? You have all these other hard hustlers who are in like all these different groups and like involved and stuff. And you know, you just went to class and got C's and you thought you was about, like now you complain about student loan debt. I don't know if I feel bad.
Yeah, that's all I got. But
yeah, it's funny because we always say we're like, that's it. We try to wrap around the hour time, and then we end up talking another hour.
Yeah, I take the headphones off because
it's hot.
That joint is blaring in my ears.
I know.
I took the headphones off, and like I thought you were screaming. I took the headphones off. You're really not talking loud at all.
I was just close to the mic.
No, like even I'm saying when I took my headphones off, you're not really that loud. It's just because I have the volume up on the things that it sounds like you're talking a lot louder than you really are. But yeah, that's all I got. Surprised the camera didn't shut off.
I know, it's been dark for like an hour.
You know, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of you, Sony.
Don't point at it like that.
Well, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nah, not really.
I thought we were gonna make a fun podcast.
I know. Now that busy season's dying down, though, I'm really about to get more interactive with like coming up with topics and stuff. But yeah, we can start talking about fun stuff. Like, I mean, we like to give advice and just help people out because, like, who knows if there's anybody in high school listening to this podcast, like, you're hearing it from us. Don't go to school for arts and crafts and to be like a.
I wonder what I
don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I know. Time out. I gotta hold you accountable on the camera. You gotta stop being so like demeaning.
I know. I'm sorry.
Because then we wouldn't get certain things that we enjoy in life. If
you know what?
Don't do those certain things.
No, of course. That's why I gave examples though. Like I'm talking about people who are lazy. I gave examples of people who go to school for unconventional things and are successful, are doing the thing and living life and living amazing lives. I'm talking about people who we know, like people that just went to school. C's, get degrees, did the bare minimum, took 80 million years to graduate, partied every weekend, don't have no type of hustler vibe, talk about how much they're a hustler, but they don't, every time you go on social media, they're active. That's what I'm talking about. People who are like that, who are complaining, but don't work for it. Like, I don't like people who just complain and don't do anything. At least if you tried, at least I give people respect for at least trying. and most people don't. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, I make it fun. I keep making fun, yeah, and it sounds demeaning, but I'm coming at the people who just breeze through life and then are shocked that they're living. Like, you do the bare minimum and you're shocked that you live like your life is the bare minimum. Like, well, why are you shocked? Like, what's that TikTok sound? Like, are you shocked? Like, why are you shocked? Like, you live a mid, like, you treat your life mid and you're surprised that it's mid. You live a life of dreams and no effort and, fake manifesting and retweeting tweets about money magically appearing, but don't actually work for it, and you're surprised that your life is mid. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anybody else. I love the arts. I love the arts. Like, people are very artistic, and those people make money because they're hustlers and they have a passion for what they did. They didn't go to school for a major just to pick something, So I don't mean to be demeaning, but demeaning is kind of, for me, like, what's that word where people are a certain way because it's a mask for something else?
Yes.
I feel like I'm not that way because I've been through some things. I told you about this.
Thank you guys for watching.
You've heard stories. My majors have got demeaned. They got called boring. All this other stuff. Like, people talk down about it when I was in school. Like, oh, accounting? That's boring. That's done. Well, this bank account not boring.
Hold up. You know what the thing about that is? That's like, the reason why I kind of don't like those comments is because if you have a problem, then go deal with that problem with the person that said it to you and not generalize. Okay, it's like a black person commits a crime against a white person. Yeah, and that white person now wants to kill all white people. Like,
you're right. Okay, you're right. Look, constructive criticism. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna heal.
Yeah, deal with that. You're about to be 30 years old in 2 years. Like, like deal with your bullies.
I just turned 25. I'm not about to be 30 in 2 years.
Deal with your bullies and get over it.
Okay. Nobody bullied me, first of all. Nobody could bully me. That's for sure.
You got bullied.
No, I didn't get bullied. People make jokes and they're all like ugly and fat now. But they didn't bully me.
See, look at you.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about all ugly and fat people. I'm talking about those people are ugly and fat. Yeah, her.
What's wrong with being fat?
There's a lot of things wrong with being fat.
All right. And this has been the Couple of Things podcast with Alex. I'm not cutting it out. I'm actually chopping that up for the promo.
Well, if you're naturally like that, then there's nothing problem.
Like, we're not doing this. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Couple of Things podcast.
I'm skinny and I probably am healthy because I just ate cheesecake.
We're done.
So
stop touching me.
We're
done. I'm turning it off. You good?
Okay, that was mean.
No, see?
I've been hurt though.
I'm highlighting your
but how come it's okay for people to call me skinny, you stick, but then when I call them fat, it's an issue?
But still you rise.
No, my whole life I've been called a stick. Black guys on like sticks, anorexic, bulimic. People have said some mean things to me, so I'm hurt.
The thing is,
I have a vendetta now.
Right, but we don't.
But now I'm cute.
You should let it go because you are about to be 30. But
I'm 25.
We don't give credence to things like that.
Okay, then maybe I need therapy.
Because
you think I need therapy? Or you think I became a bully because of people? People, they didn't bully me because I don't think nobody can bully me. But people were mean to me, so I project.
Yeah, I think that you became a worse person the longer I've known you.
Because I've been through things, babe.
No.
I know that's not an excuse. That's why maybe I should get therapy. I should get therapy. I mean, we all should get therapy.
I'll break you down. I just think that you need to
let it go.
Not live for other people. And you don't think that you do, but you do.
Live for other people. Meaning
that I think that with some of the things that you do and accomplish, or I think that you do it with other people in mind.
Yeah, I do. Some things. Like the CPA thing, what's motivating me is just to flex on, like,
yeah. But it's not so much
who
not that
doubted me or thought I wasn't going to be successful.
Yeah, people want the whole I got haters kind of thing.
But I'm still doing it for me because CPA money. Like, I'm about to be every week.
But in addition to that, you also want to have this speech of everyone doubted me and people were hating and my friends were this and my friends were that because it makes the story better. Everybody.
Well, that's what everybody does, though. That motivates you. That shit motivates you. It motivates me. I hope they're looking at my page and being like, wow.
Well, actually, you know what? I disagree with that. I don't think it should motivate you. I don't think it should have any impact on your life because, people are going to be negative. I know we want to prove our doubters wrong.
Yeah. But fuck them people. That's why I said, can you give me, maybe you could be my therapist.
I'm your therapist every day. You just don't want to listen to me until you realize it. It's so hard, though,
because you don't understand how messed up I am. And I'm not messed up in a way that affects me. I'm messed up in a way that I'm my brain is not, like you said, it's too fixated on certain things. Like when I'm thinking about how I look in the gym, I do have people in mind that call me skinny, and that's not good because that was so long ago. When I'm every time I succeed in life, I do have in the back of my head, like, well, people will say they're haters, which is not good. I can admit it's not good because it's like, why are you thinking about them in this moment? I mean, but it's hard not to think about those things. And maybe like we have different stories. Like I've been through more like drama than you, like as far as stuff like that. So it's hard not to think in the back of my head that I had people that try to downplay getting into grad school, but don't even got a grad degree. So stuff like that makes me mad because like I got my degree at 22. You don't even have your undergrad degree at 22, and you trying to downplay that accomplishment. So now look, now I got my CPA and I'm living in a luxurious apartment. And what are you doing? So it does make me mad. And
the only thing I will say
it does make me mad.
Is that, in my opinion, the one thing that I do appreciate, if you have those issues with people, then go tell them to their face.
I did tell them, and it's still not enough for me. I still told them to their face. It's not. I feel like I'm like my mom in that aspect. My mom would be arguing with people. Like I showed you.
You're just gonna be the angry person on Facebook that just.
I know. I'm scared to turn into my mom.
I deleted my Facebook.
I hope my mom's not watching.
That's a wild comment.
No, I'm scared of that aspect of her. Like I admire a lot of my mom, but that aspect of her not being able to let stuff go scares me because it makes me feel like that's rubbing off on me. Like, and my mom. No filters. You could say one thing to her, like you know when like people be like, "Oh, you waited for me to say one thing for you." My mom is that person. You could say one thing like, "Oh, I don't want to do this," and my mom would be like, "Well, I make my money," and it's like my mom doesn't hold back. I hold back until I explode. That's the difference. My mom will say anything, and that's still not enough for her, and that's why I'm scared of. Because that's how I feel. I said these things to every person I had issues with. I said how I felt to their face. Like I'm the person who actually confronted them. Every single person I had issues with, I'm the person who actually confronted them. So people could say what they want about me being weak when I'm the one who actually, because that's still not enough for me. Like you still got to see me do great in life, and you still got to feel that.
They could be dead and you would never know.
Yeah.
So why does it matter?
Because it's just an ego thing. It's something I need to get over. And I mean, you always keep saying I'm 30. I'm 25. That's only halfway. I have growing up to do. People say your 30s is when you're grown. I hope by my 30s I don't care about this stuff anymore. But it's.
But it happened mad years ago. That was like, what, 4 or 5 years ago at this point?
Almost 4, yeah.
So it's not like it's continuing, so I just get confused.
Because
but you're like that in general. You live in the past a lot.
I do.
You go back and look, not that you shouldn't, because that's the whole point of taking pictures and videos, but you go back, you have a whole app that replays your whole life every single day.
And that's probably a problem, because that feeds into it.
You go back and look at old pictures. You want to tweet a lot so you could document everything, so you could go back and read old tweets. You want to pull up old tweets so you could prove to people that you said something years ago.
The old tweet things is to prove that I haven't changed, because so many people are fake in this world, and all of a sudden
but nobody doubted that.
And all of a sudden you're this, you're all
but nobody doubted that you.
No, but I just gotta prove it.
But you don't need.
You're not gonna loop me into that. You're not gonna be like, oh.
But nobody's looping you into.
You don't know. You don't know what people say in their group chat. Alex, I look at my analytics. It'd be like 40 people sent this in the DM. Why? What are you guys talking about? And I know like it's probably some people like, oh, she's so pretty, but it's always like why is like
then don't post it then.
No, but I'm gonna post whatever I want. But just looking at the analytics is like, okay, why was this tweet shared? Who's talking? So it's like you just know people are saying stuff, because it'll be pictures of me and you. Like people are either praising us or talking shit. It'd be like anything.
Oh, it's life.
I know, but it's like, but then you could do that, but now you're also gonna see.
Yeah, but the thing that you don't understand is that no matter what you do, you cannot change anybody's perception of you.
Rihanna said it best. People are gonna talk whether you're doing bad or good. I know.
So there's no point in trying to adjust for it. No matter what you say, you could say you have 3,000 degrees.
But
people are not going to care.
Constructive.
I'm being constructive.
I'm listening. I'm learning.
No, but I understand that.
But you see the change. I've been getting better.
No,
years.
I don't.
You
Actually,
gotten worse?
I think you got progressively worse. If we could cut the camera off.
I know. I'm about to have a therapy session. No, I don't want to hear all that tonight.
No, you're gonna get yelled at.
No, I'm mad.
Because I've seen. All right, I'm not gonna say it on camera.
Seen what? No, say it.
You want me to say it on camera?
Yeah.
I think that when I first met you, you were a way better person,
because nobody was mean to me at that point. Only trauma I had at that point was skinny jokes, and
when you were wearing the clothes that you used to wear, not that they were like bummy clothes, but you weren't into like the image of things in the way that you are now, and so much of, and none of us were,
because of money. Like I was into it, but I couldn't afford it.
But that change, I feel like, brought a personality change too, where now,
yeah,
you gotta.
Like I became more like
those physical items make you feel like you're better than someone, or that you're like, that you're like you're telling, like you're showing somebody. It's almost like the "I have arrived" like kind of mentality, which is not really a good way to be.
I guess.
Because you used to be nicer. You used to be a cooler person. I still love you, of course. That's why I'm here. But you know,
Yeah, but I used to be cooler before people were mean. Like, think about the things that changed me, and the people that changed me. And I guess like that's not an excuse because we all go through things. But think about how like maybe it was that innocence in me, and I just had people that ruined that. I had people that made me made my perception change on everything, on like friendships, relationships, fashion. Like, I had people that changed that perception of me, and it's like it's just moments in my life that made me like that. Like it's people that literally like try to dog me, you know, I feel like, or just try to like down talk me and try to like act like they was something that just made me that. Like, you know, I'm not trying to put names, but there's like a few people in my head that I could think of that was like, I wasn't like who I was before you because you tried to talk to me crazy, and now you know you try to come for appearance, you try to do all this different stuff, and like of course I'm gonna be cocky because like no offense, but why let's not talk about looks like that, you know, stuff like certain like because they bring it up, I don't bring it up. Like, you know, we have situations where, like, there's a specific situation where this person brought up where we shop, like, unprovoked. So now I'm gonna be like, but aren't you broke? So, you know, that's why I get mad because it's like you started with me, try to talk about where we shop, try to talk down on H&M. So now, yeah, now I'm about to talk my ish because weren't you just crying about your debt to us a few weeks ago? Like, so that's why I'm who I am because of people. People made me like this because you came at me unprovoked about my looks, about our appearances, trying to compare who looks better. Like, why are you doing that? Like, you're clearly the insecure one, and I should have seen that. But it's like, it just makes me mad because it's like, this is what we're not going to do. Because I know I look better than you. I know I have more money than you. So we're not going to start doing all this. Like, that's when I get mad. And that's why I became this mean person. Like, I was nice before people. People did this to me.
I don't disagree with
because
that.
people take me being having social anxiety and being low-key shy as me thinking I'm better. I don't not text you because I feel like I'm better than you, don't want you to be in my life. I'm just anxious about texting. I don't like texting. I have anxiety. But now you perceive that as me being, I'm feeling like better than you. I'm leaving you out. I don't want to be your friend. So instead of you expressing that to me and trying to understand me as a person, you think I'm a bad person. And now you start unprovokingly throwing insults. So now I'm a mean person because I'm a kind person. And instead of you trying to get to know me, painted this picture of me being such a bad person. And now you made me you wanted me to be the bad guy. I'm gonna play that role now, and now I became the bad guy.
But what I don't understand is if those situations are singular, why you still are like that?
Because it had that much of impact on me. Because I was so bamboozled.
It's crazy to me.
It is crazy but I think the issue is so many people in life have had consistently had things happen to them. Like, you know, since middle school, high school. For me, my life has always just been chilling. You know, I had a little bickering from my friends here and there, but my life has always been chilling. And then I come to college and it was just a reality shock. Everything was just like, dang, like this was a real place to test me and grow me.
Do you feel like that's partially your fault though?
I could take fault in my participation in things.
With the situation that you're talking about, I don't think that was. With the more recent group of friends situation, that was your fault.
But it was my fault. How?
It was your fault because I said that was going to happen. Well, I don't know if I said that specifically was going to happen.
But it still wasn't my fault. I still have done things that affected the group and affected me. I agree.
What I mean by that is you know who the people are. Like, or maybe you didn't. Like, it's almost like when somebody has an outside view and it's not biased and they give you your opinion on something and maybe it's perceived that it's biased.
My mom gave it the same opinion, so it's not like I just didn't want to believe it.
It was like very like obvious. So if you continue to it, then you know
it might have been a naiveness in me, or you know, it might have honestly been a trickle down effect from the first situation because it was only a year prior. If you remember, the first situation was only 2016. Second situation was 2017. You know, like the second group. Mm-hmm. So it could have just been me actually, like feeling like, you know, clinging on to a new group of friends almost. Like, you know, okay, I got new people to hang out with. I'm good. I'm chilling. And that's probably cool. It might have just been an insecurity at that time. And me just wanting to feel that. And then obviously having along that, in the mix of that, a lifelong friend, a literal friend since birth, in the mix of that, I was just blinded by a lot of stuff. And it's like, that's why for me, I honestly don't feel any type of like, honestly, any friendship I have, I don't miss any friendship. The only person who I missed, I reached out to already. So if anybody watching this over, friend, you didn't get a text from me, I like, honestly didn't miss the friendship. Like clearly the only person who I always kind of talk to you about, I reached out to, you know, and we rekindled, and we're still building back to how things were. But it's just the impact. I don't think about these people on a day to day either, but the impact, the impact was there, and I'm trying to like reverse that impact. Cause it's just like like I said, for me, I feel like my life story is I was like the quiet, anxious person that no one really tried to get to know. No one really tried to accept. Like I feel like except you and like Alex and a few other people, no one really tried to get to know me, who I am. Know that I'm just this awkward, anxious overthinker, and that nothing, everything is personal. People think you're so malicious and that like, oh, she didn't text me back, and I know that's not an excuse. I gotta do better. Like I know I gotta do better, but it's just like instead of like writing me off as I'm this bad person, no one ever wants to talk and be like, hey, you know what? I wish you would text back more. Like, and you know, if we would have that conversation, I would make that effort. But instead of having that conversation, you instantly jump to I'm a bad person, and then you just cut me off. Like that's crazy. And then now it's insults, and now it's school. Like, oh, you made it to grad school. Congrats. Like sarcastically. Like what? Like now, like you trying to just throw shots. Like you been feeling that way then. Like, and that's why we like you a hater, because like, you've been feeling that way clearly. If your first insults when we have a little scuffle is my appearance or where I shop or my accomplishments, like that's your first insults, you're a hater, and that's what gets me mad. That's what the motivation is, because like the motivation is when you say those things, it confirms to me that you're a hater. So now me continuing to do great things and continue to look better and dress better and have more success just motivates me, because it's like I already know you're a hater. So now I know if you are watching, you're even more mad. Like you're probably really mad now, because like before I was like, yeah, I was cute. I graduated college, but now I got a master's and I'm about, you know, planning for the CPA. Now I'm in a career 3 years in with a promotion. Like that's way more to get me mad about, especially if you're not moving at that same level. So it, you know, it does motivate me, and I know I need to let it go. I need to let, you know, that whole let that hurt go. I do need to let it go, but it's so hard not to when it's just like it replays in the back of my head. Like when I'm sitting there studying, I'm like, yeah, these bitches gonna be real mad. Don't play no music. This is a good therapy session, and maybe this could be a therapy session for anybody listening to let that hurt go.
You gotta let it go.
I know. Don't play the Frozen song.
Why can't I play Frozen?
Play your version.
You know SoundCloud deleted it.
Really?
And I don't have a copy of it.
Alex, that had like 50,000.
Like 40,000 plays. I don't have a copy of it at all.
That was just recently deleted then, because I just saw it.
You know what's funny? The reason why they deleted it is because I tried to monetize my channel, and then they randomly like reviewed it, and they were like, "Does this contain Demi Lovato's Let It Go?" And they deleted it.
That's so sad. End of era. You don't have the copy nowhere?
Nope. Come on. No. Come on. You gotta let it go.
You think I need to go to a real therapist?
You just gotta let it go.
Who like are trained?
Just let it go.
Something else too.
Let that hurt go, yo.
Something else too. I think I need to realize too is that we all were younger back then. They might feel that they were wrong now. I mean, they're not going to say anything at this point, because how stupid would you sound?
Or they felt wrong that they were wrong back then, but they were just defending themselves.
Yeah, but ego, and maybe they still feel like now, like, dang, that was stupid.
But no matter what,
we could honestly, all of my friendships that fell apart all fell apart originally for dumb reasons. Like there's one obviously that's irreversible, but all the other things could have easily been fixed. It's just everybody's ego is too big, including mine. But I feel like for me, I was in a place of like, yeah, I was easily like when I confronted everybody, I said where I was wrong. Not one person who I confronted could say where they were wrong. And if anything, that's weak. I was able to say, yeah, you know what? I'm bad at texting. I'm bad at reaching out. I'm wrong.
It's you.
Yeah. We could have. But actually, I don't think we could have, actually, for some of them. Because they're not to be mean, but they're not really doing what I'm doing. So how could we be superstars if you can't afford to do what I'm doing?
Thank you guys for watching. This has been the A Couple of Things podcast with Alex and Mal.
Where we going to go?
Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to check us out every Monday on all your digital streaming platforms. Thank you.
I'm going to get therapy, guys.
Goodbye.
No, I'm going to get therapy.
No, I'm hanging up on you.
We'll do
I'm unplugging your mic.
We should do a segment where we do like therapy.
Yeah, no. Goodbye.
Oh, okay, that's whack.